Oh, gotcha.
And people like just, the spontaneity of it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get.
Huh.
Are we on yet? I don't see us. Are we up on YouTube? Oh. Are we up on YouTube yet?
Two things, that's what I was gonna tell you. Mark says he's having a trouble with the laptop, so he's working on that.
Ah, shoot. I wonder if I did any. No, I didn't leave. I think it's on, yeah.
And then the second thing is, heads up, I don't know if Kelly told you, but we're having Bill Spessart on.
Oh,
at
excellent.
11, but his time is very
No.
limited.
But do we have that call? Remember what the name is? I got to look it up.
She did not put that up, but
Okay.
I do have him coming on.
Well, I know. I just have to find the call. It has unemployment. Oh.
For some sort of integrity holds.
That's what. Thank you. That's exact. That's all I need to know.
There's a couple people who called about that.
I want to know about it. Yes. Thank you.
Sure.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, okay.
My own personal experience with gutter guards.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Oh,
I don't know if there was.
No, you can talk.
Okay. I had all my husband had installed them, and I don't know, I didn't pay much attention to where he got them or whatever.
okay.
But after he passed away, we had a really bad snowstorm, and I had so much water just pouring over as if I
Pardon me,
didn't know.
Tommy, YouTube is up.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. There's two possibilities.
So it was frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was frozen and clogged, and I just had them all removed.
Yep. So ice is not normally a problem down here, but once in a while we'll get those huge snowstorms, like 2 feet of wet snow.
Yes, and that's what it was.
So what happens is the next day it's 40, 45 degrees. You're going to trade about 3 to 4 inches of snow for about a layer of ice, like an inch, inch and a half thick. And so what will happen is all gutter guards, it doesn't matter if it's a screen, a filter, they are slightly sloped forward away from the house. That way all that ice gets pushed away from the fascia board, the drip edge, so that nothing backs up against the roof. The byproduct is all that water's coming over the top. So if you have that problem, normally it's when you're facing north or you just have the right storm conditions.
Did you want a water, by the way?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, heat cable will solve that pretty easily. There's just a heating line that you put up there. It's normally when you face north, and then you don't have that issue. Some covers produce that more than others.
This was the west facing, and I may be overreacted, but I had the whole thing removed.
Yeah.
Because I just thought, this is insane.
It
I have an older home, and I worry about the foundation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's where this stuff is important, because of that foundation. So the interesting part is there's not as much water as you'd think in ice, because water expands when it freezes. So when it comes back, it drops. So it's not nearly as much as you think. But yeah, heat cable would solve that. It only happens once in a while when you get those right conditions.
Cable in Denver,
No, but to be fair, those 24-inch wet storms, you're talking about 1, maybe 2 a year at best. So you're putting up heat cable for that 1 in a 365 chance. If you're willing to say, okay, that happens once in a while, I'm not worried about it, then you don't need it. But as far as why you don't get it with open gutters is they fill up with ice first before you get that overflow.
Yeah.
So it takes a much more volume to get them. You can still get it, but
right.
where we see that a lot is up in the mountains because they get ice like,
All the mountain
huge.
ones too. So,
Yeah.
and I've got heat.
Yeah, now you need it because they
Yes,
get it more than one out of 365. Yep. So yeah, as far as it's not one of those that happens very often, but when it does, a lot of homeowners.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. By the way, the Castle Rock Home Show, it's going to be starting tomorrow. Today's Thursday, right? At least it was when I woke up. So anyway, it's starting tomorrow at the Douglas County Fairgrounds. More than 300 people. You're going to be down there or not?
We were in the Kiowa home show, and we just finished with the Evergreen one.
I think they're the same people, and they're putting on one, and they're really good one-stop shop to just go around and look at a bunch of stuff. And that's starting tomorrow at noon, the Castle Rock Home Show at Douglas County Fairgrounds. So it's kind of cool. Okay, now Lisa wants to talk about small claims. So, Lisa, out of curiosity, I'd like to ask, what kind of business where you're suing a client? Because there are other ways to do this. I just want to go over it all. So what is the business?
Our business, we're electrical contractors.
Oh, okay. And is this, so you did work on a commercial building?
Yes, replaced an overhead line that had been damaged.
You know you can put a lien on the property, which in my opinion gets their attention.
It's been too long. We did the work like in August.
Aha. And there is no other work that needs to be done to make it safe or perfect, like because it's 4 months from the last time you left the job. I'm not trying to be tricky, wink, wink, but sometimes people find that, oh, you know, the inspector wanted us to do this, and then they didn't want to do it because they didn't get paid. And I tell them, go back and do it so you can start your 4 months again. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But anyway,
Yes, I do.
Just in case the inspector ever said, you know, how about this or how about that, or there was something you didn't do because they weren't paying, you may want to do it just to get that extension. But having said that, if you're not going to lien the job, then small claims court would be one option. How much do they owe you?
Right around $1,500.
Okay. Now, if they owe you $1,500, that's a pretty good amount. And so I want to ask something though. Why are they not paying? Are they claiming something is wrong?
They won't talk to us. We've done 2 or 3 other jobs for them, and I have no clue what happened.
Okay. And they won't talk to you at all?
No.
That's weird. Okay, so small claims court. Who did you contract with? The entity itself, right?
The owner called. They were out of town, and an employee had hit an overline.
Okay. And when the
one of their lists or something.
employer called, and you can prove you did the work, because even if he said, well, we didn't have a contract, it doesn't matter. It falls under what's called quantum merit, which means they got the value and they didn't object. So you did the work, and then he called. So I would sue him and I would sue his company if you don't have a written contract. I would claim that he requested the work personally and the company. So I would sue both of them in small claims court. So,
So 2 separate forms.
I believe I can ask Mark, but I believe you can put both defendants on one form, but then you have to serve 2 different times.
Okay.
Okay, so you can sue them both on one form, I believe, but then you serve 2. So what you would do is you serve him personally wherever he is. If he's there, not you, but somebody like a process server or somebody not related, and then you sue the registered agent of the corp or LLC, and it's most likely him. But you know how to look that up on the Secretary of State site?
I do.
Okay. So do you have a registered agent separate from the owner?
His wife is the registered
Good.
agent.
Serve them both. And,
Okay.
And then you can ask for reasonable interest. You can ask for attorney's fees. Well, you're not going to have any, but minor collection fees. But like the cost of small claims court is what I'm saying. So Another thing, if you want us to, we don't mind calling and saying, why aren't you paying this? Why aren't you paying these people? I mean, we do that all the time. Now, we're not a collection agency, don't get me wrong, but this is a consumer show. So if you're a small business, you're working with another small business, it's kind of like consumer. I mean, it's not like some giant contractor did work at the airport and now we have to get them paid. You know what I'm saying? If you want us to...
No, I understand.
So if ever you want us to do that, Suze, you can give that to her, give it to Dollar if she wants to. You know, so let's do it. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. And Ludmilla, what was that? Let's see. Oh, yeah. We're going to have to figure that out. Do I have it in my email right now? Okay, I'm going to look at it right now. Yeah, 2007. I know, no. We know it's old, but still, I'm looking at it. Yeah, but she gave me a letter. She didn't get, where's the voucher? Okay, the voucher. Okay, but this is like an email. I don't have okay, and it says, Mom, we love you so much. Yeah, here it is, the voucher and PIN, and then conditions. There they are. I'm going to enlarge the screen. Okay. Conditions for Frontier Airlines gift card. Gift cards have no value until activated at the time of purchase. Okay, what does that mean? at the time of purchase? At the time they, was this activated? I mean, I don't even, let me ask her. Ludmilla, was this activated?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
When I called, I knew exactly what it was.
Except where required by law, gift cards will not be replaced if lost, stolen, or damaged, nor can they be redeemed for cash, have no expiration date. And then it says, see Frontier Airlines / gift card for full term. I need to look at that part. That's what I need to look at. Did you look at that part?
Yes, I did, and there was nothing that said anything that
I'm
not
gonna.
saying.
That's one more place I need to look. So
I
okay.
I called that phone number, and they're no longer there. So that's when I did corporate office. I sent a letter
I
to
get
corporate.
it. I get it. But what I'm saying is Frontier Airlines is still there, and I'm wondering if they have the. So I'm going to go to frontierAirlines.com, and then you go / whatever, and then we'll see what it says. Yes, Suze. Well, no, and we mentioned that, but was it since 07? If that's the case, see, that's a problem too. So if there is another entity, all bets are off. I mean, if it is another, but they didn't even try to make, well, what did they say actually? What exactly?
They said I could use a gift card in their store at the airline.
But why did they say you couldn't use it? Yeah, they have no page that exists that says frontier.com / gift cards. So what I'm going to have to do, this is crazy. There's something called an archive of the internet. And it's not going to matter what their terms and conditions are today. It's going to matter what they were when you bought it. An archive, I believe it's archive of the web, archive.net, whatever it is. I got to find it. And when I find it, because that's not it. So we go to the web archive, and then we look for those dates or close to that date. It's called the Wayback Machine. And I know this is weird, but as you go to the Wayback Machine, we're going to put in Frontier Airlines, and then what we're going to find is what it looked like back then, and hopefully that was put away and saved. So we'll see.
The only thing that's different is why would they allow me to use it in their store?
Well, hold on. Here's why I think. First of all, I think it's rinky-dink. They're giving you a hard time no matter what. I think it's stupid, even if they were sold. But here's why I think they're doing that. They're doing it let's just say the terms and conditions at the time, whatever they were. And then yours is not valid. Okay. I'm just saying, if that's the case, then even then what they're doing is they're probably saying, but we're going to still let you do it for merchandise. I'm not saying that's the case. Let's just figure it out. I'm going to look at what was on their site back in the early 2000s and see if we can come up with something. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Waterpros.net is the place for the best water in the world at your kitchen sink. $1,400 fully installed, triple filter, reverse osmosis. You never have to buy bottled water again. In fact, I'm in the studio today, and one of the things I don't like about coming into the studio is drinking this bottled water. I don't care what the name is, because they're filled with crap and nanoplastics. And at home, I can get the purest water. You can too. 303-862-5554. Okay, let me put in this website, because now I have frontieраirlines.com. We'll see what it looks like. Frontieраirlines.com.
So that heat cable on our product that's designed to be heated, we actually tape it inside the bull nose, so you never see it.
Oh my God.
And then you can turn it on or off whenever you want.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So ours is the only one you can do that, so it's a nice feature. Because we do quite a bit of business up in Estes and Woodland Park, all the ski resorts.
Yeah.
And they have those giant A-frames, and some of the problems they have is those ice sheets, when they come off, tear off open gutters. So they put hooded systems just to protect themselves, so you're not tearing them off. But then you get icicles, and that's how you solve it.
So I'm wondering if that might be a solution for my place up in the mountains, because I have a terrible problem with leaves.
aspen and pine needles usually.
I don't have too much pine needles.
Really?
I have pine needles down here in Denver.
Yeah.
I have a ton of aspen trees.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about retirement planning. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. They are basically people who help you with retirement. Now, they're sponsors of this show, but I'm an actual client. So what do? They look at your life, they look at your estate, they look at everything, and they see where you're falling short, where you need help. Do you have income? Do you have a nest egg? They can help you build a nest egg if you're young enough, or protect one if you're old enough, through what they call the 3-bucket method, one for safety, one for growth, one for income. They really help you get a balanced view of insurance and what you need in savings. And, it's really good to have somebody quarterback. And again, their fees are built into most stuff, and it's just way less expensive than what they save you. They save you a ton of money. And if you need professionals to bounce things off, they're always available to you. But meet with them, see if they're a good fit. There's no obligation. rpcenter.com. That's Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. rpcenter.com, 970-663-3211. So that one, I'm in the Wayback Machine, and I got gift cards, but they say, let me see, that particular one's not archived. Let's see, I'm in 2007, Frontier Airlines.
No, I wrote that down. That's awesome. Oh, of course. Yeah.
You can actually see every bit of their archive, not every bit. What they do is periodically archive different websites throughout the world. So it's called web.archive.org. But it's hard going back. I'm noticing a lot of these backups are not coming up.
Can I go to that?
Yeah, it's web.archive.org. Or just go to, just Google Wayback Machine.
I think you're right, though, because as soon as an entity hands over one to the other, all your gift cards, all your outstanding debts are gone. They're not assumed by the new entity, and that's where she's in trouble. So even if I think they're throwing her a bone, like you said, like, hey, we got a bunch of merchandise in the store. But, yeah, unfortunately, I'm with you on that. It's just, why not give her the $250 towards a flight? Like, it's a
I'm
poor,
looking at their
you can make a tough story a good one. Turn a customer.
So stupid today.
Yeah. No, turn a customer into a mouthpiece by giving her a great experience. You triple that money. That's silly. But, oh well.
I'm still waiting for that to come up.
So a 16-year-old granddaughter, huh?
I do. My daughter and my granddaughter.
Wow, pretty girls. Okay, yeah.
She's driving. She's
Oh,
looking at. We'll start looking at colleges. They live in Steamboat.
oh, okay. Are they skiers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter's made a career of it, actually.
Really? Wow.
She's a writer. She's very well known in the outdoor industry.
Okay.
She works with all the professionals in this.
Yeah. The only one I ever knew was Bodie Miller.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if she knows him now, but
Yeah.
she's McKenna should, I think, I don't know if Michaela, but Julian, I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Then we knew, or my dad was really good friends with the guy that taught Princess Diana
Oh,
up in Aspen. Yeah, he's a golf pro in the summer and a ski instructor in the winter.
your dad is?
My dad's buddy. My dad is a golf pro, well retired now, but yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And then my mom worked for Ball Aerospace for 32 years. So
Oh.
yeah, you're very different people. It was cool. Yeah, yeah. You got 6'5",
Did
golf
your
pro.
mom ski?
little bit. They're both from Boston. And my mom went to like 8 different colleges for her undergrad. Back then, they had some sort of like sister program. You could move anywhere free of charge. And so she went all over, and her favorite place was Boulder. So she got her master's here, and they settled here, and then I was born here. But yeah, I was born in Longmont. But yeah, it was 2 different worlds, because you're talking to, you go to mom's work, and you're talking to these like astrophysics.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I am having a tough time finding the Wayback Machine. I'm kind of back there, but that one particular page, I'm not sure they bookmarked it. It's such a pain in the ass. She's had this since 2007. And again, they're telling her she can use it only in the store. I will tell you this, Ludmilla, we can't do this right now, but I'm going to have Deputy Chopper look at it because he emailed me about it. He says that Frontier has been sold since 2007 a couple of times, which would mean that your gift cards are no longer valid. So I can assure you that when they sell entities, none of the obligations carry forward. Unless people are morons, they never, ever structure a sale that way. Yes, we will take on all of your debt or all of your previous stuff. They don't do it. So I'm going to give this to Suze. Let's let Dak find out, or Deputy Chopper. Oh, he's in Costa Rica, though. These jerks are all taking vacations. I'm the only one who gets... I mean, I'm the one who should be on the beach, not him. And then you and Mark. I mean, you know what? I just was talking to somebody the other day about it, and I said, maybe it's because I just love my life and what I do. I know it sounds corny, but I guess I should be retiring soon, right? I guess I should. Okay, you want to come in here? I'll leave. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I think I'd probably get up and start talking for 4 hours into the space and make believe I'm talking to people. I don't know. Jackson's with us from K-Guard. And Jackson, I have a question from somebody who wants to know about these gutters. Do they come any bigger? That you say it's equivalent to 6 inches. What, excuse me, they didn't say bigger. What does that mean? Is it a 6-inch gutter?
So the way a 6-inch gutter is designed is you're 6 inches at the widest point, 3.5 inches tall, and it tapers back to a 4-inch bottom. Ours is actually 6 1/4 inches tall, 5.5 inches wide.
Oh, okay. So it's actually more volume.
Yeah.
More volume.
More volume than a 6-inch. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and ice damming. Usually anything with a cover on it is subject to ice damming sometimes. Does this happen?
Yes. So ice damming actually starts on the eaves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have your thermal wall, and then you have a soffit. The soffit has cold air bringing it up to the roof, and so it starts about a foot back. So
you mean it's not because of gutter covers?
No, not at all. Actually, it's just you see more icicles because usually with an open gutter, it fills up the trough first, so that with volume of ice.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas a cover, all covers,
all ice goes over the top.
That's right.
So it looks like more ice.
Yes, they don't produce ice.
It's the same amount of ice.
Yes.
But it's just all on the outside.
Correct. And so instead of when you have an open gutter, ice back builds under your shingles, under your drip edge, and that's why code requires ice and water on the last 2 feet.
Ice and water dam.
Shield, right. Yep, under the roof. That's to protect your soffits and the fascia board and all that eaves because ice does back up against you.
Yeah.
All covers push the ice forward with that little slope, but as a result, the byproduct is icicles, and that's where you see a lot of those zigzag heat cables on the edges. Mm-hmm. That's what they're trying to prevent is ice damming. So ice damming starts about 6-8 inches up the roof. And
now,
then
do you do heat cable as an option?
We do, actually.
It's the automatic resistance heat cable, so you just leave it on all the time.
You can, yep.
And it only comes on where you need it, when you need it.
Well, so
I mean, it's resistance based is what I mean, right?
Yes. So
it's a wire.
But the problem with that is
you don't have a thermostat on it. You do. Yours has one.
Yeah, there are thermostats included in it.
Oh,
so
what about the wire that has that's like built to just come on when needed? Have you heard of that?
So there's sensors, ones that have moisture sensors in the spine. Those are semi-effective.
Talking about that blue wire that it's heat. So what happens is cold reduces the resistance.
That's what those are.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you don't really have to tell it where to put current. When it gets cold, the resistance is lowered and it goes to that area.
That's true. The only caveat to that is in Colorado, we'll have a snowstorm. It'll be gone in 3 days. And every night after that, it's still going to get cold. So you're running that cable while it's cold versus you only need it when there's moisture there. So,
oh, I see. Whereas the other, you're right. And the blue wire comes on no matter what, just because it's cold. Anyway, what does that cost per foot when you add heat wire to a gutter?
usually you're around 15 to 18 bucks.
Just for the wire?
Well, so what we use is the commercial cable. You can go to Home Depot and get those little cord heat
Cheap
cables.
ones, yeah.
They're like 160, 200 bucks for, 160
Bring
feet,
your
whatever
own.
it is. Yeah. But those only have a 1-year warranty, and you can't overlap them. They're pretty.
So these you put up, and they're good for years and years and years, and they're thermostatically controlled.
Yeah, those are 15-year warranties. If you go to your Wells Fargo
Are
or
they?
McDonald's,
But they're moisture-based, not thermostat-based.
those are thermostat-based.
Can you get moisture-based ones?
Yes, they make a sensor that has a 6-foot spine, and if 6 inches of it or more get wet, it turns the system on, and that's when those cables get turned on based on moisture. We've had relatively good success with those.
Yeah.
They're hit and miss.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Here, yeah, Suze, what? Oh, then that totally did away with her gift card. I mean, first of all, sales do it, bankruptcies do it. I mean, first of all, how do you sit on a gift certificate? I mean, it's 16 years. How do you do that? How do you do that?
Well, maybe she loves her life like you do. And
I
doesn't
mean,
want to travel.
she didn't want to use it. She didn't want to fly. But no, gift cards are just totally. I mean, what can I tell you? I mean, they have to be used. In fact, I don't particularly love it. Now, it says here, Tom, anyone who lives in Denver knows Frontier has been sold so many times. It's silly. And then, what's going on with the Cybertruck? Here's a text I got. Yes, I read about that. They stopped production. Apparently, the owners even got do not drive warnings because they take off and go nuts, full speed. And, Tesla's having its challenges. They've laid off 10% of the workforce, which is pretty significant. They say they may lay off more. Suze? Down $100 a month. I know it. And they gave everyone a 30-day trial because most people that have it, including my son, he said, holy crap. It's like the best thing he's ever had. And now that it's just $100 a month, he's trying to hit me up for it. I'm not going to do it. But I'm not going to add that on. He can pay for it if he wants to, but we know that won't happen. So I just think that is a smart move because really there is no cost of sale. See, there's cost of goods in development, but come on. Once that's done, the brilliant thing about software and downloads to cars and satellite transmissions, you have no cost per unit. So by doing this, he's going to increase revenue. It's pretty obvious. Okay, we can have, we never know what's going to happen. Sometime we're slammed, sometime we're not, but you can get your calls in at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255, or you can call 303-MARTINO. And don't forget the Castle Rock Home Show starting tomorrow at noon. That's at the Douglas County Fairgrounds, more than 300 booths. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that gift card. Everything points to she has nothing. I take him up on that merch
Maybe she could wield it into an upgrade, like buy the ticket and then use it to get her.
Where did the woman go with the electrical contractor? Did she just hang up?
The small claims.
Oh, no. Are we going to have somebody call for her?
So I've been driving 60.
Hold on. EuroPlumbingColorado.net has the best prices anywhere on water heaters. No two ways about it. $13.99 will get you a 40-gallon tank fully installed. You just can't beat it. $15.99 will get you a 50-gallon. And, you know, Dimitar over at Euro Plumbing says, I want to give people a deal when it comes to any kind of plumbing repair. So no matter what size water heater or plumbing repair, he guarantees the lowest prices. Now, you don't hear that much when it comes to plumbing, do you? That's EuroPlumbingColorado.net, 303-668-6844. All right, let's talk about automotive, kind of in the same vein. RKC Automotive. Now, they're not going to say they're the lowest price, but they certainly have among the lowest prices for the same repairs. They do domestic and foreign cars, old and new. They have a small shop on, and I mention that on purpose because it's not that small, but what I mean is they're family oriented. They believe in value and a lot of added value, meaning inspections on every car that comes through there, free of charge with any repair or maintenance. RKC Automotive on Evans, west of Tejon. And Ramondo and his team want to take care of you and your family. 720-749-3965. It's a sleepy day. I mean, yesterday and the day before, I didn't have 3 seconds in between calls because of, and you know, it usually happens. Here's what happens. Usually when I have somebody that with a hot topic I want to talk about, I get so many calls I hardly can talk to them. It's really weird how it just, there's no rhyme or reason. I'm either slammed with calls most of the time, or every once in a while, and I don't know if it's the weather, I would think more people would be home today, or not home, but not running around.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You would think.
So did you hear how I signed that to Dollar? So I'll have him, that's his nickname.
Yeah.
He's going to call this electrical the other company. He's going to say, hey, you know, why aren't you paying these people? Sometimes just that phone call, boom.
I'm sure they encounter.
Now, we make it clear, our rules of engagement, and I can write up some bullet points. We don't make people think we have official power. We simply say, hey, we're calling from the show. We're consumer advocates. We help people. We're just investigating this. I'm sure you have something to say about it. We definitely want to hear it. You know, we never call ever assuming that what we were told was the truth. I mean, because it depends. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not.
Well, what you have is one side of a story. What I like about what you do is you fact check every single thing they say. So like she said, it has no void or no, expiration dates. And you're like, hold on a second, let me see it. Because you're right. People make up a story to make it sound better.
They do a lot.
Yeah. But you go to the documents.
And you do have to read that fine print. I'm sorry.
That's why when you're like, see whatever for more detail, you're like, oh, that's the end of that
so
one.
much.
Yeah.
She said it doesn't say anything. There's no page. I don't know how she even looked at that.
But why would they be willing to give her
Just to be nice.
credit?
Just to be nice.
Not only that,
Just to be nice.
when you buy out other companies and you get all their old, like apparel, all their old stuff, there's no cost to it for you, and it's just sitting in some warehouse, so it's easy to get rid of. There's an actual cost to the other stuff, but that's where I would think to your point, like if you're willing to give her the value, why not give her like, okay, you can't use it for a flight, but we'll give you for upgrades or for food or for whatever.
Just for goodwill.
Yeah,
But
that's too bad.
How much time do I have right now?
Kind of a little ironic because rain makes our business go, and snow halts it. So like I pull in and it's like misty rain, and then right as I'm getting out, it starts to snow, and you're like, oh, it's kind of funny how that works. Just people are so, emotionally driven. When they see the leaking, that's when they call. And if it's not doing that, then yeah, you're not going to get those calls. It's an interesting business. So, you were talking about your call volume. I wonder if it has some sort of similar.
You know what? I don't know, but I do know this. I've been doing this 50 years, in Denver 45.
Mm-hmm.
And before social media, we were the only ever people, right? So it was way different. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Joel, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Good morning, sir.
Hey.
I'm calling because there's been some fraud committed, and they forged signatures on a property. And the property owner is my mom.
Really?
And I'm trying to get her some help because she's
So
scared.
tell me what kind of fraud. Now, is it like somebody forged the title?
Yes, and there was a notary. She was involved too, and she knew what exactly what was going on, and she authorized the signatures.
So what did they do? Did they claim that they bought your mom's house?
Yes, they claimed they bought my mom's house, and there was zero funds, so they pretty much got it for free. And that's,
No, but hold on. But there's a whole bunch I need to ask, and thank you for calling for your mother. So first
Yes,
and
sir.
foremost, how did you discover this? Let's go there.
My brother and I, we were trying to move into that property because
Why? Is it vacant? Was it vacant?
Well, my mom always rented that property. She always had it for
that's
rent.
where I want to start then, Joel. This was a rental property of your mom's.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. And then it was vacant and you wanted to move in?
Yes, and at the end, she ended up telling us that they committed fraud on her.
Well, hold
and
on.
she
So
couldn't
when you
speak
went
up.
to move in, did someone stop you?
No, I told my mom about it, and she said,
How did you
can't
find
go-
out about it? See, Joel,
My-
I need
my
to
mom
know
could-
what happened. You went to move into the rental. Take it from there.
No, I wasn't going to move in. I told my mom about the house. There's no way I can move in. She said, no, because there's a person that already did a scam on me, and I don't know what to do anymore. And so
Okay,
my brother and
got it. Your brother and you, go ahead.
we went to the Adams County records, and we pulled out some records, and we pulled out some fake signatures, and it's not my mom's signature, and the co-signer, that's not even his
So
signature.
what are they? How long ago were these papers filed?
Since 2016, 2018 on some documents that I have with me.
So some
I
of
have a
them were
bunch of
way back
guys.
then. So what has your mom been doing since then? I mean, this doesn't make sense. So your mom has rentals, and somebody stole the rental or claimed they bought it back in 2016. What has she been doing since then?
Well, she never confessed to us. She never told us nothing. Because,
Well, when did When did she find out about it?
That same year, 2000.
And she never did anything about it.
She went to the Adams County Sheriff's, and they were being biased. They couldn't get no records from the signatures or anything. But now,
then how did she know back in 2016 that the house had been stolen?
Because of the tenant, and she was trying to kick him out of the property.
And the
they
tenant
ended up-
said, the tenant says you're not the landlord.
Yes, and the Adams County showed up and they removed us from the property, and my mom just broke down.
Removed your mom from her and said, this is no longer your house.
Yes, sir.
So your mom went home and never told you guys about it.
Yes, and I've just found out about this, but
No, I
told
get
my
it,
mom.
but it's too late. I mean, I don't know of anything that can be done now. I mean, even if it was fraud, and it probably was. Now, before people say to me, that's why people should have title lock, I say no. This thing, no. Title lock is a bunch of crap, and I'll tell you why. It's a bunch of crap. But I will tell you what probably went on. Hold on, Joel. Do not hang up, and we'll figure this out. I'm not sure what we can do, but let's explore all options. This is not the first time homes have been stolen, and we'll tell you how and why title lock wouldn't have helped anyway.
Oh my God, from 2016, a house. How does somebody let that go?
You tell me that's right. And you know what? There are a lot of people being taken advantage of like that.
Yeah.
Well, he mentioned a cosigner.
Well, and it was witnessed by a
Notary.
notary.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are there statute of limitations on that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's crazy.
From discovery and from the event itself, for fraud or for breach, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, if you say it's fraud, there's going to be somewhat of and I'm just thinking, there's no way she's probably within the absolute statute of limitations. An absolute limit means that no matter what, you can't go back, like a 10-year or 12-year or something, no matter what. But with discovery, she's really screwed. If she discovered, and she said she discovered it back then, well, she admitted it. So, I mean, from discovery, it goes as short as 2 years from discovery.
That's it? Just 2 years?
From discovery.
Mm.
See, there's two kinds of statutes. One is from when you found out, or should have found out, like this. And then the other one is from the event. So one is from the event outward, and let's say it's 5 years. Then it's 3 years from discovery. So it's whichever one occurs sooner. So if you discover it right after it happened, you don't have 5 years.
Right.
You have 3 years.
Yeah.
But if it happened a year after, then you still have 3,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have 5. And then,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So if you discovered it 4 years after it happened, you don't have 2 years, you have 1.
Yeah.
The big thing is just don't wait.
Well, maybe she was embarrassed or something.
Yeah, that's what a lot of older people do, like with the dating scams too, and with the money. And
Yeah.
Huh.
let me tell you something, and you're way too smart. You are the typical demographic person who gets scammed in romance scams. You, not you, but you know.
Oh,
What
I
mean is
understand.
a woman who is over 50, a woman who is widowed
Mm-hmm.
or divorced, but a lot of widows, because divorces sometimes they're too angry, but with a widow, they might want to get back. Okay, and they're not dead. You know, they like to get out and do things, and you start
Have a seat
people.
over there today. It's Deputy Bo.
Hey,
He said for an
Bo,
update, a lady's gonna be calling about her roof.
how's it going?
Good. How you doing, sir?
This is Jackson with K-Guard,
Yep, I heard you on the air. You sound good.
Oh,
and then this is Jeannie, a potential new deputy.
Thank you.
It'll be our first female deputy of all time.
So apparently on the call for unemployment, Bill Spessark's on hold for you.
I'm going to get him right away.
Yeah, I told him that. Kelly had told him that somebody called and said there's integrity holds on every claim. He wants to clear that up. So if you want to talk to him about that,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you. That's
Sure.
good.
And then when Kelly gets here, I'm gonna come in here and hang.
I want you to. Yeah.
Okay. Hey Tom, Tommy, I'm seeing MJ the musical tonight.
Oh,
I'm
you
so
are?
excited.
What is that?
I have like fifth row center
Where?
at Peel Theater. MJ, Michael Jackson.
Oh, cool.
I'm seeing it next week.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
You're
I
going
can't wait.
tonight?
No,
Next
week.
week.
I'm going tonight. Yeah, I'm picking my best friend up from the airport after the show, and we're gonna go see. it.
So, did they get a really good? Is it like a tribute? Did they get someone to play Michael Jackson?
Yes.
That's
Apparently,
really
it's incredible. He's incredible. Or
Yeah.
they have a series of from when he was little. Yeah.
his whole life.
Yeah.
How
I heard it
cool.
was fabulous.
Can't wait. Hopefully the weather turns a little nicer.
I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I was up in the mountains and I
Forgive
got
me,
over.
Bo. Did you get some headphones?
I got 'em
When were you
myself.
up there?
I get
When were
used
you
to
up there
it.
last night? Did you say you got home late last night?
I got home late last night. Yeah. And it was like winter. I mean, they closed Vail Pass again.
Really?
Just after I got
Oh
up
my
there.
goodness.
Yeah. I shoveled 8 inches of snow.
Really? That's excellent. I mean, sorry.
It sounds like a drag.
Well,
I hate
Oh, it was good exercise.
no, it's great. No, well, I'm a native. I was always taught any moisture's good. We'll take it
Wow.
all and all the time.
Gotta
'Cause,
keep those lakes full.
yeah, that's our drinking water. We gotta, we need
I'm
that.
a native too,
Are you?
but third, fourth generation.
Oh wow, where? What part?
Well, I live right now in near Park Hill.
Oh,
You know
okay.
where that is?
I
12th
do.
12th and Monmouth.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
just Monmouth goes straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
once
it's a nice
lived
neighborhood.
in Wash Park.
Oh, you live in Wash Park?
I used to.
Oh, you used to?
Yeah, we live in Castle Rock now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was originally from Longmont, and then I went to school in Colorado Springs. Then I was overseas for a
Did
few
you go to
years.
Colorado,
UCCS, CU Springs.
okay, is that where you went? Okay.
Yeah.
I wondered if you went to Colorado College. 'Cause that's
CC.
where yeah, you went to Colorado College?
You did.
My daughter did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We played against them a couple times, but
Oh,
yeah, they have a great hockey team.
yeah.
It's supposedly right up there, just under DU. And they're big
I
D1.
don't follow that too much.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I played
CC had a hockey team. It's a great
CC. Oh yeah.
Aren't they on the block system?
Yes, they
I
are.
don't know.
They are.
I would.
Your kid goes there?
Yeah.
My daughter went there, but
Oh.
she's going to take my granddaughter there. Well, they're coming down for Mother's Day, and they're going to go visit the campus.
For me, it was perfect because it was a little over an hour drive, so your parents weren't like popping in on you, but you could still, if you had to, get home for a holiday or whatever it was. It made it really easy. So it was a nice distance for me. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
what's she gonna study, or what's she interested in?
I don't know. She's got a lot of talents. It'll be interesting to see what direction she goes. But she's a really good writer. But she said, "You don't make any money writing." So she's.
Hard to break. Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
That's what my daughter is.
Really
is a
hard.
writer, right?
Yeah, it's
That's
especially with AI and all that other stuff now. It's getting tougher.
yeah.
AI to me is a twin-edged sword. I love AI for technical stuff and the law and stuff. You cannot use it for anything to do with anything social or political or religious at all. Nothing. Because it will only skew one way.
Oh, sure.
100% liberal or 100,000% liberal.
I'm gonna see if Kelly has.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose.
No,
Come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You guessed it, the home show starting tomorrow at noon. That's a Castle Rock home show with over 300 booths. I like it because as a consumer advocate, I love people to be able to sit in one place or walk around one place and see like more than 330 merchants for their home improvement show. And that's free admission. Free admission. I should have mentioned that. So let's keep going. Now, we have someone on from the unemployment division. He's the director. And Phil Spessart, boy, has he been a busy man over the last few years. It started with COVID. Oh, my God, the fraud that went on. Can't even imagine. Well, we got a call from one person yesterday, and then after that, several other people. And they all said their unemployment benefits are delayed several weeks because of something that was called an integrity hold. So, like, for example, yesterday, or was it yesterday? Melissa calls and says, Tom, it was 2 days ago. Melissa called and said, Tom, when I applied for unemployment, I didn't get it. And they said it's going to be a while because there is an integrity hold. So I didn't know what that was. And Phil is always transparent and tells us everything when it comes to the state unemployment division. And other people called in and said, everyone gets automatically integrity hold so they can investigate it. So Phil wants to clear all this up. So, Phil, thank you, Mr. Spessart. Appreciate this. As you're the director now, I should call you Mr. Spessart. What's going on?
Sure. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, it's interesting to hear those rumors. So clarify a couple of things here. The one thing that everybody has to go through when they file an unemployment insurance claim is identity verification. So 100% of people go through that. That's a process that can be completed in a matter of seconds or minutes.
Is that ID Me? Is that ID Me?
No, it's not ID Me anymore. Right now, it's either through LexisNexis True ID or individuals when filing a new claim have an option where they can select to go to the United States Postal Service, provide a barcode, provide their information there, and the U.S. Postal Service will determine the validity of their identity and feed that information back to us. Now, every claim also runs through a scoring metric related to whether they contain components similar to what we've seen on fraud claims. So on a lot of claims, some people may have a very, very low score. And so the minute they pass identity verification, clears everything off, they're good to go. These individuals who have program integrity holds, it's because of the score that ends up on their claim. And it's
so can you give us an idea, Phil, of some red flags?
Oh, I'm not going to give you all those characteristics because otherwise I'm telling you.
Give me an example of one. I get it.
Let's give you a generic one that everyone would say, well, that one makes sense, right? And probably isn't a marker on most of your people who are calling. So if a Social Security number comes up as being to a deceased individual, that's obviously a huge marker, right?
Got it. Yeah.
So that one is. So there'll be various other
or
things.
Or maybe where the addresses don't match up with the names or something.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So those things will trigger things.
Okay. So what do you do then? What does she do? Melissa asked the question. Well, so Tom, now what do I do? I mean, do I have to depend on them? Is there anything I can do to help?
Yeah, we will usually reach out to them and provide them information to upload some additional documentation. Now, usually they'll receive a program integrity questionnaire within MyUI Plus that asks them to upload a bunch of information. So some people think this is ridiculous. I've gone through identity verification, and now this is also asking me to provide those documents. Reason for that, again, is to verify all of that information and try to ensure that you are who you say you are.
Heck, yeah.
Unfortunately, fraud continues to be a huge, huge impact on this program, not just in this state, but in all states.
You know what, Phil? I had to upload stuff for Google for claiming my business years ago. I mean, it's crazy. Everybody wants some kind of clarification or proof. So, okay, now, if you hold on. I want to take Hugh because he's calling in. Hugh, what was your, and I know you have limited time, Phil, so I'm going to, whenever you need to go. But Hugh, what is your question?
So this is for Phil, obviously.
Yes.
When you are unemployed for a long time and you can apply for an application to go into additional training, I think it's called the ETPL. What I've been finding, working with the advisor over at unemployment, is that Arapahoe County will not honor the programs for additional training under real estate, even though the state lists that training as approved by Arapahoe County over and over and over again. And it's been a point of contention for me, and I don't know how you would resolve it other than taking those approved training programs off of your website, and that hasn't been done yet.
Sure. Let
So,
me ask you a question, Hugh.
First, before you, Phil, before you answer,
unemployment.
Phil, before you answer, could you explain what he's talking about to begin with, and then what is this extra training program?
Yeah, well, it depends. There's certain individuals where determining the best course for reemployment for them would actually be to seek education or retraining or new training in a new occupation and field. And so individuals who qualify that then are exempt from the work search requirement while collecting unemployment insurance because the training is considered to be an attempt to reasonably ensure their prompt reemployment suitable employment. Again, I don't necessarily handle all the ETL component. That would be a different division, employment and training. So it doesn't mean I can't speak with that director there so that they can check and make sure everything's updated.
But he's saying, and Hugh, what I hear you saying is that they have the ETL program, but they do not honor real estate courses as being a good way to do it, right?
And only Arapahoe County.
Okay, through Arapahoe Douglas Works.
Yeah, so under your ETPL program website, it shows that the training has been approved and that you can select it, but Arapahoe County doesn't honor it.
Sure. Hugh, why don't we have you do this? Send an email or give your information to the Tom Martino Show. They'll get back with me. I can circle back with the Director of Employment Training so we can try to take a look at what's going on. Because it sounds like more of an employment training division issue than maybe a UI division issue.
So hang on, Hugh. We'll give you
a UI division issue.
Yeah. Hang on. Suze, you can get his email or have him send it to Phil or whatever. So, Mr. Spezhard, so we have a lot of fraud still going on, or it never stopped, or what?
It never stops. On average, between 14 to 18% of all claims that are filed on a weekly basis are marked as a high likelihood for fraud.
Oh, my goodness.
That. I will tell you currently, right, and these numbers went out through Channel 4 the other day, we have about 47,981 active unemployment insurance claims, and there were 1,208 individuals with pending program integrity holds that needed to be reviewed and adjudicated. Unfortunately, that does add time to processing on an unemployment insurance claim, which is frustrating for folks. But to give you an example, Tom, the fraudsters come up with new ways to do this all the time. Recently, as a result of some of this, and we use multiple tools here for a very good reason, we had 1,700 people pass identity verification through United States Postal Service. However, every last one of them was tied to fictitious employer schemes. In other words, individuals creating fake employers, using stolen PII to load in fake wages in an attempt to receive benefits without ever paying. And that fraud that we stopped could have resulted in up to $800 million in a loss to the UI Trust Fund. So this is why we have multiple steps. If we relied just on identity verification, all of that money would have gone out the door to those.
Wow. So my next question is obvious. Are we punishing people who do this?
When we can catch them, we certainly are. And we've had some that have gone through and been prosecuted at this point in time, certainly not as high of a level as we would like. Part of the problem is at a federal level, for you to be able to prosecute somebody is there had to be an actual taking. We had to experience an actual loss. We focused on trying to prevent those losses up front to begin with, and that's why you have the program integrity holds.
Well, thank you.
I know
now,
they're frustrating to folks, though.
Where do people call for quick answers, or is there no such thing in your department?
Yeah, no, we would have them contact if you have a program integrity hold, right, because we have two different numbers to call, but one is a vendor who's not able to provide you much information or assistance, but we would have you call our direct number, which is at 318-9000 number.
318-9000, and that's 303.
Yeah. 303.
Okay.
Correct. And now, again, realize that not every call center individual is going to be able to tell you exactly why there's a PI hold or how long it'll take to resolve. Reason for that, unfortunately, is we keep that really locked down because, unfortunately, the fraudsters also engage in social engineering on the phone to try to find out our techniques. And
right.
They're good. right? As soon as we make an adjustment, they make another adjustment, and we have to make additional adjustments.
That's crazy. And I appreciate you being there, Phil. Thank you very much for being on the show. I know you got to run, and that's the Unemployment Division Director. This guy is very good at what he does. He's one of the public servants that come on the show and help people all the time. So that's good to know. So the number where you start is 303-318-9000. Now, here's what we're going to do. Since we're sending an email to Phil with other guy's name on it, or Melissa's name on it too, if you have any concerns, he has to run. But if you want to talk about it, give us a call. We'll take these two and include them in the email, especially if they're very specific things, not just in general, like, I think this should change or that should change. But if you're having an issue, we'll include that in our email to Phil, the director, okay? Not many people can give you that direct access. So what you do is call us at 303-713-TALK.
I was just looking it up.
Make sure that Joel knows I'm coming back to him.
I've had 7 of those. People file for unemployment.
Well, I want to know that.
I have
want to
7
know
of
that.
them.
I want to know that.
Yeah.
Like when we come back, I want to talk about that. Like this guy's not exaggerating.
No. I've had them claimed from Texas, from California, from Nevada. I've only run. Oh yeah, I've only run business out of Colorado. I have 7 of these in the last 5 years.
RFK, I mean Junior, his family's not endorsing him.
Really?
The Kennedys are endorsing Biden.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Denver Regenerative Medicine is doing something that so many people wonder. First, they do have the weight loss drug semaglutide or tirzepatide that people can't find. That's because they're providing the compounded formula to people direct with a doctor, with all the supplies, starting at $250 a month. That's incredible. The brand names are $1,200, but that's not the big deal. You can't find the brand names. So if you want to lose weight or you're diabetic and you want to visit denverregen.com, they'll give you more information, denverregen.com. Now let's talk about estate planning. Estate planning doesn't have to be complicated, but everyone needs something different. You might need a will. Some people need a trust. Some people need a combination. Other people need beneficiary deed or payable on death certificates or some other mechanism to stay out of probate. Or other people, they want a probate because they want a personal representative to dole things out afterwards, and it might change or whatever. Whatever your circumstances, Keel and Park will come up with a plan free of charge. Did you hear me? They go over all this with you free of charge. Then they come up with a plan free of charge. It's all flat rated then if you decide to do it. So you know exactly what it's going to cost. It's a great way to do it. Keel and Park. That's common spellings with E on the end. Keel and Park. LawKP.com. Start there. LawKP.com. 970-818-8198.
So I have the gutter side. We have roughly 18.
Oh, we're up now. I mean, no. I mean, we are on YouTube.
We have roughly 18 on the gutter side, and then I have an exterior division. I have probably another 12 there. All of them.
It's hard to get good employees.
Well, and that's where one thing that I tell everybody is I don't want to grow anymore. I want to be right where I'm at, because if you grow any farther, you're going to have to put in levels of management and you lose control. Right now, well, I don't really care about that, because like I give all my customers, if we're doing a roof, free upgrade to Owens Corning Flex. To me, that's the best shingle out there. You know, everything I try to do, like whether it's K-Guard, is the best product I possibly can. I'm not worried about a profit margin because I'm looking at this as building a brand name over 20 years. Yeah.
So you do roofs also?
Yes, ma'am. Well, all exteriors.
I may have a little leak.
What kind of roof is it? Is it shingles, asphalt? Okay.
Well, it's, I don't know, it's what everybody else has.
Well, there's
It's not a shingle, wood shingle, it's a
asphalt shingle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's stone tiles. There's there's lots of them.
It's a simple.
Okay. Usually, so I have a specialist who'll pop his head in the roof in the attic. You're looking at the decking to look for water spots to see where it's coming in.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been in home improvement. I did the work.
No, in your K-Guard company.
K-Guard 7 years. Before that, I was a vendor for home improvement companies. I covered Colorado to Illinois, Texas to Minnesota. I had 1,800 clients. And so,
What did you supply?
we were selling financing.
Financing?
So when you do like the 12 months same as cash, there was a bank out of
And
San
you'd sell the
Diego.
program?
Well, the trick is you have to integrate that as an option for sales reps without changing their pricing. So you learn how 1,800 companies are run. Everything from your mom and pop shops up to your...
But normally they just build that cost of financing in, right?
Some do, some don't.
Because they have to take a discount on that, right?
Well, there's a dealer fee. That's what it's called.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Okay, now, I'll take this comment on unemployment, then I'm back to Joel. Joel his mom had a house stolen. We haven't forgotten about that. And we were consulting our real estate attorney about that. So, Alan, what is your comment on unemployment? Hold on. Here you go. There you go, Al.
Okay. So when I heard him discussing, you were asking him if it was a ID me, and he said no.
Right.
It's odd because I really believe I had to go look up my password for ID me to get my benefits, so I know they're still using it for some reason. And I think the most frustrating thing with unemployment is you just have no idea where your benefits are at, whether they're going to be accepted or not.
I know.
And there's no communication.
I know. You're right.
So I was hoping that he would speak to that. Like, how do they do a better job of trying to let people know, if they're going to be qualified or not.
Well, that has always been an age-old problem. People applying, then they're left out in the cold. They don't have any idea what's going on. And some people just want to be told they can't qualify and why, as opposed to just not knowing anything. It is
right.
I know, it's a good question. I mean, it really is. And that's something that we will definitely ask him next time we have him on. Like, is there a way? Wouldn't it be nice, though, like if they could log on and just see the status of their claim?
Right. Well, mine says processing. That's
okay,
all,
so there is a way to get it in there.
It just tells, but it doesn't tell you any details like timeline or,
How long have you been waiting, Alan? How long have you been waiting?
I've only been waiting this time a few weeks, but and I also found a problem with their website. I had everything ready to submit, tried to submit it, and it kept giving me an error. And I finally had to call their office and say, okay, what's going on? And she said, I can't even deal with the claim that you put in. I have to redo everything. So I spent an hour and a half on the phone with her going through everything.
That just frosts me too when that happens. When you take time to go through something and then all of a sudden it won't let you submit and you can't go back and save it. Oh God, what a pain. I feel for you there. We'll mention to Phil though about updates and see what he says about that. 303-713-TALK 713-8255. Joel, I'm back with you. Listen, Joel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I talked to my real estate attorney. Let me just get some notes here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If this happened and your mom, here's the problem. Your mom discovered it way back in 2016.
Yes, because we couldn't get no records.
See, Joel, the law says date of discovery forward is the statute of limitations. She's beyond any statute of limitations for fraud, crime, anything. I understand what you're saying, I understand. I don't say I agree with it. I understand. You're saying you couldn't get anything done. That was in 2016. Then you had 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I mean, look how many years we're looking at, man. So what I'm saying is there is absolutely nothing that can be done right now. Nothing. There's nothing. But here's the deal. I mean, the law doesn't say if you tried to get something done and you couldn't. I mean, what does that mean? And I'm going to tell you, here's the biggest problem why title lock wouldn't have worked. Here's what title lock is. People say, oh, make sure, you register your home and your title. So when any changes occur on the title or someone tries to record something, you're immediately notified. Okay. It doesn't stop them from recording anything. Zero, nothing. It just notifies you. Okay. Well, your mom was notified because the county notifies her if she's the owner.
No.
I'll guarantee you. I'm going to say, Joel, I guarantee she was notified sometime back when this happened that something was filed on that address. It's an impossibility for it to happen without it being sent to the mail, to the address of record. If the address of record was the rental itself, they could have filed it and then retrieved it from there before your mom could see it, or they could have stolen it out of her mailbox. But what I'm saying is, Joel, listen, how old's your mom right now, by the way? How old is she?
She's 56.
Oh, only 56. Okay. I was going to say...
I have a quick claim deed right here with signatures that don't match my mom's and my uncle's because my uncle's a co-signer.
I believe you.
And
I totally believe you. I believe it. By the way, just so it helps, I believe it was stolen. They got away with it.
But this morning I contacted FBI. I wrote a report. They gave me a report number, and I contacted.
And what did the FBI tell you? What did they tell you?
They're gonna give me a call so we could set up a meeting so they could speak with my mom, one of the agents.
I'm going to tell you, if they do that, it'll be a miracle because it's way beyond the statute of limitations. However, I think they may want to know just in case. Let me tell you why they want to know, even with crime that is past the statute of limitations. They want to know because they might have other complaints now about title stealing. And what they'll do is they'll try to meet that with others. And they might say, wait a minute, we're going to link this. These guys have been doing this since 2016. So the reason when they investigate, I want to be very clear on this. If the same people were doing it over and over and over, and the FBI says, sure, we'll meet with you, and they find out that the people today who are being ripped off or who were ripped off a couple years ago are the same people perpetrating the fraud that did it against your mom, it's not going to help your mother. I'm telling you the truth. It's not. Nothing is going to help her now. It's too late. I don't know of any law anywhere that gives the excuse we couldn't get anything done because she could have.
They just did the same thing to another elderly couple, and the son found out, and he's an attorney here in Colorado. I don't know the names. I don't know who they are.
But it just happened, right? So it's not beyond the same people did it?
Yeah, the same people did it to another elderly couple, but they got caught.
Good. So what are they doing about it? Are they going to arrest these people?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who them people are. That's why I went
Joe,
to that.
Why do you think that will help your mom? Why do you think that?
Because there's a history of them doing that, and they did it to my mom. And now that we have proof that we couldn't get it a couple years ago, Joel, I have them in my hand right now.
Why? Joel, listen, man. Just listen to what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't matter if you prove it. It doesn't matter if they're still doing it. It doesn't matter. There is a statute of limitations. And the old crimes drop off as the new crimes come on. I think these people are scumbags, and I think they should suffer and be punished. But unfortunately, It's not going to help your mother. Now, by all means, do me a favor. Cooperate and do yourself. Still cooperate, because maybe by some strange thing they would actually, and by the way, this has been done before, where the legislature finds so much fraud and corruption, they changed the law. They literally changed the law to open up special cases like they did against Trump. In New York, they opened up the law and did away. They absolutely did away with the statute of limitations for a 1-year period so people could go after Trump. Okay, so maybe if people want to go after these guys bad enough, and they can actually alter the law. That is a possibility. Do me a favor, though. I need to know about this most current case, because we'll go after these bastards. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we can get them just to do it, just to try to, by the way, it's not unheard of, just so you know, Joel, here's another thing that could happen. Let's say they nail them on a bunch of fraud that happened recently, fraud that could be prosecuted. Let's say that happens, right? And then let's say as part of a plea deal, you know what that is, right? They say to them, look, we won't send you to jail. You pay a fine. They may be able to, as part of a plea deal, say, you have to give back Joel's mom's house to her. They could do that, even though they can't prosecute them. As part of a plea deal, they could ask them to turn that house back over to your mom as a goodwill gesture. So that's a possibility. So definitely cooperate with these people, okay? Now, by the way, Hugh, real quick, you have a goodwill complaint? What is it?
Well, it's not really a complaint. Corporations can do whatever they want to run their businesses. We were over at the County Line Broadway store and wanted to buy some clothes.
Yeah.
And found that the dressing rooms were closed.
Why?
So their complaint was that people didn't treat the dressing rooms right.
Oh, they were. This is Goodwill, right?
Yeah, Goodwill.
They were shooting up and snorting in them.
Whatever they were doing, but the whole thing that felt sketchy to me was that they said, you can buy these clothes if you think you want them, take them home, try them on. And
no, other stores are doing it too, not just Goodwill. In fact, this is a trend. They don't want to show. Now, here's the deal. They have a right.
Costco and Sam's Club does the same thing. We do it all the time. We buy the clothes, we take them home. Difference is that they tell, Sam's, Costco, you bring them back, you get your money back. Goodwill, no, we don't give you your money back. We just give you in-store credit.
See, here's what I'm saying. They have a right to make their own policy, okay? Then consumers have a right to say, we're not dealing with you. If you don't have fitting rooms, we're not going to shop here. Or if you don't give full refunds, we're not going to shop here. Everyone has a right to do business the way they want, so long as it's not illegal. They can do it. They can make any kind of ridiculous. Listen, there was another one, Burlington Coat Factory. I don't know if they're even still around. But these dinosaurs would say, no matter what you buy, no matter what's wrong with the purchase, there is absolutely no refund. What we will do is give you store credit only. Well, listen to how weird that gets. One time this person bought a briefcase and it was defective. Everyone agreed it was defective. They brought it back. It was like $100 or $78, $9, whatever. They did not handle these briefcases anymore. There was no possibility she could get any briefcase at all ever from Burlington Coat Factory. But what they said to her was, you still have to take a store credit. So think of how ridiculous that is. They're forcing you to do business with them.
Is there an email address you want me to send this to? That fraud claim?
Yeah, help@troubleshooter.com. But I wanted to talk about it now on the show today. But that's where you would send it.
That's crazy. You got 7 people.
What?
You got 7 people trying to.
In the last 5 years, we've had 7 people claim unemployment on our company.
Just you.
Just our
Do
company.
you contact him right away?
Well, yeah. Well, it comes in through unemployment, and so what you have to do is go into the unemployment website and dispute it. And you just say, like, he never worked for us. And then all of them have gone away since then. But to his point, Phil's point, because no damages were ever assessed, we've had one guy do it like 3 years in a row.
What? The same guy?
Same guy.
I bet they lose millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, because some of them slip through, and they're real people, but they're based out of Texas or California or Nevada. But I've only ever operated in Colorado.
Wow.
But it's crazy, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we heard that title problem, right, where that title was stolen. The mom found out about it. She said there was nothing we could do about it. Well, there really was, and I don't want to belabor the point except to say she could have called O'Brien Legal Services. Back then, if there was a fraudulent claim on the title or paperwork that didn't match up, O'Brien Legal Services could have handled it. That's what they do, real estate law. Now, they do all kinds of real estate, including real estate law, including just going over documents for closings and all of that kind of stuff. The bottom line is this. Don't ever sit on your rights. At least consult an attorney if you think that you need one with real estate. olslaw.com, 720-370-7388. If you're looking for window coverings, I can think of no easier way to do it than Made in the Shade. These people are such great professionals. They come to your home free of charge with a measurement with a guy that measures everything, a designer, and then together the measurements, of course, the designer, you all come up with stuff you want in which rooms, then they come up with a price. That's all free. If you decide to move forward, then they order and install it. Here's the deal. It's all one stop, one shop, all guaranteed. Made in the Shade. You don't get easier than that. 720-458-6566.
So are you from Colorado? You said
No.
5 years somewhere else.
Yeah, 6 years, like almost 6 years. Like I started my career and then moved here about 6 years into it, maybe. No, actually, let's see. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, about that.
Where'd you start?
In upstate New York, Albany.
Oh, okay.
But I lived in Catskill, worked in TV up there and radio up there, and then moved to Florida, and then worked in Fort Myers and Tampa, then Raleigh, North Carolina,
No
then
way.
here.
Fort Myers? I have my great-grandparents, grandparents all retired in
And then Tampa.
Naples, and then my uncles are all in Fort Myers, yeah.
I was in Tampa for a few years, and then Raleigh, North Carolina, and then here in 80.
So what brought you here? Job opportunities?
Some in my business, talent agents recruit you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And back then, like when I moved from these intermittent moves, you'd move for, honest to God, back then you'd move for $10,000 or $15,000 more. You know, you'd uproot your entire.
Well,
life.
you were moving up size of market too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once I got here, I just developed such a niche that I couldn't duplicate it. I mean, I could, but what I mean is no one wanted to pay what I was making.
You had built the following.
To recruit me.
Well, I was
Right.
one of his followers. I listened to you every day. I told you. 'Cause my job was
So
driving
so
around
I
all
just
day.
stayed here and just
Yeah.
stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed.
What'd you do where you were driving so
I
much?
was in pharmaceutical.
Oh, yeah, pharmaceutical sales? Okay.
Oh, did you sell pills?
All
My
kinds of
cousin
stuff.
does
Yeah.
that.
All kinds of
Pretty
stuff.
good business.
But you know,
That was in the days when they had all of these attractive, I told her, attractive women selling to all the, you never found anyone ugly selling drugs. Did you know that? It was a joke in the it was a joke in the industry. When they had their sales meetings, it looked like, Vogue.
You're trying to get a doctor's attention.
That's
I get
exactly
it.
right.
I get it. All right.
I had Boulder. I called on for a
Sorry?
while. I called on Boulder for a while, and that was a trip.
Oh,
I tell
yeah.
ya.
Well, I'm from Longmont, so Boulder, and my mom worked in Boulder because Ball Aerospace was based out of there.
Yeah,
So
I
we would
remember
go-
the building up there, that big. Do they still have that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, she retired 6 years ago, but they still do. Yeah, off of Arapahoe and what is that? 34. Yeah. On the north.
There was a big building,
east side.
big headquarters almost.
Yeah, northeast side, and it's surrounded by a bunch of brick buildings, brown, like more reddish brick. Yeah, they own all of that.
Ball Aerospace.
Yep.
Is the canning plant near there too? Ball can, that's a big place too.
Actually, funny enough, they just sold that.
The canning?
Yeah.
Was that all the same company?
Yeah.
Come on.
Ball Brothers. There was 4 of them, and
then
each
didn't
one of them.
Beechcraft, the aircraft Beechcraft owned?
Yeah, they had 4 different divisions. That was one of them.
Oh, they bought Beechcraft?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they were huge at one point.
all from mason jars, huh?
And where are the Ball brothers from?
I don't know that one.
They're not local here.
No, they're not
Oh.
from Colorado. They moved here because at the time the lack of pollution. Just being in Colorado, you get much better. Well,
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Kate, what's going on with you, Kate? Welcome to the show. What's happening?
Hey, so a couple years ago, my husband got one of those Visa cards with it was attached to unemployment benefits
Yeah.
that he never applied for. He worked the whole time. And I don't remember who we contacted, but they said, take the card back to the bank. So it was U.S. Bank. We took the card back, never heard anything else about it. This year, we got a notice from the IRS saying we owe over $2,000 for back taxes on that unemployment that he never collected on. And
I understand. And what you have to simply tell them is you never got the money, ever. And they can't, I mean, really, what did you get a 1099 on that from unemployment?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What did you do, though? When
he took it back to his employer and said, hey, this never happened. They know it never happened. And they took the notice, so we don't even have it anymore. His employer has it. I don't know what they've done with it. But,
so you just got this notice this year?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get Larson on. Hold on. I want to get our experts at Larson Tax Relief. These are people that help you fight the IRS all the time. Let's see what they say to do. Hold on, all right? We'll try to get an answer for you. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Hey, do you know that 1 in 3 hiring managers, listen to this, and this is a real survey done among major companies and the HR people. 1 in 3 say they know they're asking illegal questions, but they ask them anyway. Now, they say they're not doing it because they want to discriminate illegally. They're doing it because they think it's important. Do you know what some of the illegal questions are? Weird. Okay. You can't ask about people's age. Now, come on. If I go to apply for a job, now, I mean, I might not look like I'm going to be keeling off, but I certainly don't look like a young chicken. I'm sure that they're wondering, like, how long is this guy going to work? If we're going to train him, are we wasting money? And you start getting that feeling after a while. Wouldn't you want to know? I mean, truly, when you think about it, it's not because you don't like them or don't want them. But then again, that is discrimination, isn't it? If you say, wait a minute, if this person is going to work for just a few years, why do I put all this money into them with training? Maybe that's one of the things. Or what about this? Young women, you know what they ask? Are you married? You're not supposed to. Why do they ask that? We all know why they ask that. Are you thinking about having kids? Next question. You can't ask that. But yet, think about it. Are they doing it to be hateful? Or are they doing it because, damn it, it's practical? Now, this woman's going to come to work for us, have a kid. And that's assuming you can't go to work. I mean, I don't know. But you can't ask that. You cannot ask anything at all about health or physical abilities at all. So if you have a physically taxing job, okay, you do, Jackson, you have a physically, okay, you guys do K-guard on the houses, right? Gutters?
Yes, sir.
Coverings? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Heat, taste, whatever. Okay. Don't you want to know if someone can climb a ladder? No, seriously. You can't ask. If you ask, how do you feel about being on ladders and working above the ground high? If you did that, get your ass to jail. You can't ask that.
Wow. Then I'm going to jail.
No, I'm serious. This is what I mean.
We do. We ask, are you comfortable on a second-story ladder?
Now, I'm not sure if that would be wrong. Or I guess you can't ask, can you?
We ask, are you comfortable? Because
that might be that might be different. I don't know. But this is weird stuff, isn't it?
It is. The rules are weird.
You know how they find out your age? They want you to show. They ask you a question about your driver's license. They want to see your driver's license.
Actually, we ask for driver's license, Social Security. I run everybody through a background check. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if it's legal.
I also
but
want to know
I do
you're not gonna clutter them up with workers' comp claims. Come on, man.
Well,
if some guy's limping and do you ask, is that permanent or can you do the job? I mean, really?
Yeah. I look at resumes. I look at how long are you at your companies. If you're there for 6 months or less, nope.
Yeah, we used to get that too. Yeah,
They're gonna bounce.
4 jobs in the last 3 years.
Right. Yeah. Why wouldn't you bounce on mine? Because as soon as
Look,
something gets tough, you're out.
We won't talk about this now, but we're on the air. But I'm sponsoring several newcomers. I'm just joking when I call them Venezuela's families, but only ones that want to help themselves and work and all that. And it's been working out. But Red Rocks Roof and Solar. Now that is one of the best solar companies around, and I'll tell you why. They do what they say what they do. And here's what else they do. They help you with the tax credits. You get 40, not 30 with them, 40% because all of their products are made in the U.S., so that's an extra 10% kick there. Plus, they know about financing and they know about grants for special commercial operators that want to sell back to the grid. All in all, they know it all, and that is redrocksrs.com. You don't find much better when it comes to solar. 303-704-2449. I can say the same about floor coverings and Simply Floors. You know, if you're getting the idea that I know people I advertise for, you're absolutely right. You know, anybody can read a commercial, but that's not here. I know Buddy and Karen Mitchell. I know them. And I know they love what they do. They're knowledgeable. They're experts. We use them on the show as experts. They can provide any floor covering you want for the great prices, best installers in the business. They'll even come to you. Go make an appointment. Simply Floors, Inc. That's INC, simplyfloorsinc.com. So they're having trouble getting work papers, right? We're doing it. We're getting it done. But can you imagine that? We invite them here. Well, that's really what sanctuary cities say. Come here. You'll be fine here. And then don't help them with real skills. Right. They pay rent for 6 months. That doesn't help anybody. But why not put that money into training? First of all, teach them how to speak English. Okay, English classes, job training, Do you know how many people would love to hire them? I know because I'm placing them, right, in work. But it's a pain in the ass to get them jobs.
Pardon me, Tommy. With Kate, both Washington guys are unavailable. Do you want me to get her?
All of them?
Do you want me to get her over to Spessart to look into it? Maybe they can help her for the.
If they can research that account.
Yeah, maybe do something.
Yes, but I'll tell her that.
Okay, you're gonna tell her.
But you know what? Also, yeah, I will. And then I do have some ideas, though. I'll go back to it.
Okay.
No, I was in HVAC
So
supply.
I don't think
Oh, no
employers
kidding.
can hire them because they don't have
HVAC
work
parts.
Oh, yeah.
permits, right?
Which
I'm on this
The-
roofing case.
the-
Well, we're getting anything.
But you can get them.
I'm very
They're
well
just
versed
hard
in
to
it.
get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As far as roofing goes, I'm very, yeah, everything about it. Actually, we're a preferred Owens Corning partner.
Oh.
So, yeah, no, that's why I was curious as to if you thought Owens Corning was the Flex is the best shingle out there. Are you
Oh.
familiar with shingles? Like asphalt
Somewhat.
shingles?
I don't know a shingle
Somewhat.
from Shinola.
Well, so
Yeah,
class
it's
fours,
like-
when it's hail resistant, there's two ways to get
Right.
it. They put like a sponge on the back, which gives it some
Right.
give. The
Also-
problem is over like 5 years, that weight is going to push on that sponge to where you're not getting the same resistance. Or they have an SBS, which is an impact modifier. It's put into the tar of the shingle. That never goes away. And so you shoot that cannon ice
But that's a
ball at-
class 4, right?
They're both class 4s. Because all the class 4s, you drop a 20-pound steel ball from 20 feet, and then you measure the damage. But it's only on a brand new shingle, so when that sponge comes back right away, they don't test that shingle 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And that's the difference between having the sponge and having the chemical in the shingle. Because the one in the shingle costs more. Plus, Owens Corning Flex is built right here in Denver. So you don't have to worry about altitude, moving stuff up and down, shipping, all that.
Where's
fun
the
stuff.
Owens Corning factory?
Maybe we could talk about that on the air.
So we did a plant tour. Let me look it up. Yeah, it's made right here. There's only 2 manufacturing plants in the U.S. for Owens Corning that make the Class 4 shingle. Let's see. One is in Ohio, the other's here.
Columbia University, they're rounding up all these protesters. They must have done more than protest, though. You don't just arrest protesters unless they break the law.
That's right.
That's the blocking the bridge.
Plant tour. Here. Plant address? It's in Denver.
I was in the HVAC supply business. My parents
Yeah, made here in Denver. Because I've been to the Certainty plant in Missouri. I've also been to IKO down in Joplin. I've been to, being a vendor for home improvement companies, you link up with other vendors. So you do all these things so that you can speak intelligently when you're talking to a roofer or a solar guy or whatever it is. So you learn about how that stuff is built. But
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So Kate's husband got a debit card for unemployment benefits, but he had never applied for it. They sent it back, and now they're getting taxed for it. So, how much did they claim you got?
I don't remember, but the tax bill's over $2,000.
Well, okay. Well, we could do the math on that one. So 2,000 would be probably 28%. Maybe they're saying maybe 25%. So you can just figure that out. And so let's talk about this. You can do a few things. First, we couldn't get Larson on, but I know we were able to call. And I'm going to tell you that you don't pay it. If there's a 1099, if you received a 1099, you should have filed it with an explanation. Now, is this for tax year 2023?
I think it was 22. It wasn't last.
Are you
for
being
last
penalized?
year.
Are you being penalized for it?
Yeah. They added interest on it.
So the $3,000 represents the interest,
No.
or the $2,000 or whatever.
2,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, here's the deal. Can you find the 1099?
He gave it to his employer, so I'm sure. I hope they.
Well, there's a
still have
copy
it.
of it somewhere. What you need to do is just file an explanation and say we're not paying it. We never received it. And and if you just never received it. It was put on a debit card that was immediately returned to the bank. And then you just do that. I mean, really, that's all you can do. And the other thing you can do is pay it and then go the back door and get it back. But if you don't pay it because you didn't get the money, and then what you need to do is figure out with unemployment, we are going to have your account looked at, and they can tell in a minute if that money was used or not. Now, the danger is going to be if the money was used. In other words, you took it to the bank and some clerk there said, hell, we'll use it.
Oh, yeah.
And if they did, I'm telling you, it's going to be a weird one. That's why what we'd like to do is see this through. So, Suze, you're going to include this in our email to Phil Spessart, and Phil is the director over at unemployment, okay? So hang on. Now, Janet was working with Deputy Bo. We're going to go to her after the break here, roof shingles, and what happened there. And Alberto has a question on capital gains. Could you ask Alberto to hang on? We'll come to you, Alberto. I'm Tom Martino. We got another couple of hours to go. 303-713-TALK. Keep your calls coming. 303-713-8255.
So were you a carrier rep or just a distributor? Lennox. Okay.
Yeah. We were Denver's first Lennox dealer in the 50s.
Wow.
Does Lennox?
Still very good. Yeah,
Great
1954. Wow. First Lennox dealer. And it was hard to be a dealer. I mean, you had to have a storefront. You had to.
Well, but you were born in 53 or 54, right? Or probably 60.
Well, my great uncle started the company in 1939. I was born in 59.
This was a family company?
Yes.
Wow.
1939.
Very cool. Is it still around, the company?
No.
You were a distributorship?
Yeah,
Did you do more than Lennox?
We did Lennox. Yeah, back in the day, we could only do Lennox, but then with everything merging, we could do it all. I mean, I sold a lot of Goodman because it's very inexpensive.
Yeah, Goodman is still the standard of the builder.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Well, they make some good stuff, too. They make some. It's not like the best, but they make some good stuff.
We couldn't sell the company because the internet and Amazon and eBay were just eating into our sales because people knew the part number. See, we were just selling parts to our suppliers.
Yeah, that's the way it was.
And I couldn't compete with the internet.
You know what I'm surprised? Who I'm surprised is still in business is that one company. Oh shit! They are such a dinosaur. I'm trying to find them. No, it's.
What'd they sell?
No, it's a big warehouse. Granger.
Tom Granger stock's going through the roof. It's like 80.
Why?
It's almost.
You can buy anything you want without going to them. You go to a counter and it's an old-fashioned way of doing business.
Yeah, you got to go in and
you go to the counter, you buy shit, you put it in your pickup truck. What are you kidding me?
And they won't let you look at the product. They have to bring it out.
It's a parts. It's a giant parts warehouse. For everything. They're the most ridiculous company in this day and age. And
they're going like gangbusters. Stock is like, I could retire now on their stock. Their stock's like $700 a share. It was hovering around 150.
Are they based more in like rural markets where guys
No,
don't
they
use
have
the
over
internet?
they have over 500 stores across the
They're
country.
ridiculous. It's the most antiquated model in the world.
And they put out catalogs. The catalogs. I get them in the.
Their catalog must cost a fortune.
My father-in-law, for example, he's sixth-generation rancher farmer in western Kansas. When he needs a part for a combine or whatever, he's not ordering Amazon. He's going to he's going to Granger. He's buying it now.
Yeah, but it's got to be.
Are they?
I don't know. They're very successful. They're like on one of the top 20 stock picks.
They'll drive 100 miles to go get that part because they need it now. They're cutting now.
They do have technical help. Like if I got a motor or an air conditioner that I need help on how to hook it up, they do have technical advice.
They're not very good with customer service as far as if you go in there with a part and you don't know the number or try to explain, I got this and I need the thing, they will do nothing.
Yeah, you got to have a little
good
knowledge.
old-fashioned part number or leave.
Right.
And then no discount. I mean, it's just the most ridiculous. It's so expensive and ridiculous.
And their stuff is expensive.
And stupid people go. I mean, I've seen people go there and buy buy a case of rubber gloves. If you go, Amazon will have them here tomorrow morning, and you'll pay half the cost.
Right.
Why the model works, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
mean,
get
there's
it.
got to be a lot of stupid people alive still.
Okay.
In my opinion, I'm going to use
Wow.
the restroom. I'll be right back.
Are you
It's
familiar
just
with QWERTY?
What?
QWERTY?
Hoarding.
Yeah, QWERTY. QWERTY. It's on a keyboard. When you
Well, that's a type of keyboard, right? I mean, the type, the way the letters are.
no,
QWERTY
it's a,
keyboard.
it's a business concept. So
Oh, it is.
yeah, when computers first came out, their computer processing speed was so slow they wanted to slow people down. So they created a keyboard that's inefficient. They've actually made keyboards now where you can type 10 times faster because if you look at like what is it, RSTLNE, look at where they are on the keyboard. They're not where your fingers rest.
It's
so you have
not
to
like
move
an
your
old-fashioned
fingers.
typewriter.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to move your fingers in order to hit the more common keys. It slows down the typer. They've made keyboards that are more based on that. You can type like 3-5 times faster.
Really?
But it's called a QWERTY. It's when something's built inefficiently on purpose, for the purpose.
Is that the name of it, QWERTY? Because I thought QWERTY was the name of the typewriter back in the 1900s.
Well,
that type of keyboard.
I learned this in business in college, but yeah, QWERTY is where it comes from. It's a concept that like whenever you run into a product or a service that's just for whatever reason inefficient, it's built that way on purpose.
I've never understood on a keyboard. I don't type very much with one paw, but I don't know why them A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Correct.
You know,
it's
because you
built
got
that
to
way,
think
yeah.
about it. You
Right.
got to go to class. You know, 1, 2, 3.
That's
Why don't
exactly
they
right.
line them out?
No, that's exactly right.
I thought the QWERTY was the guy's name that invented the keyboard. I
No.
mean, the typewriter.
No.
Made all the letters not sequence.
Well, you can type really, really fast, because I used to have a job
Once you
in
learn,
a very much
yeah.
past life of mine
Yeah.
typing, and
Yeah.
yeah, you can get really
Oh, in college, we used to get to like 70, 80 words a minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you can
because
get
you're
over
doing
100
it.
words a minute.
Yeah, really good ones. Yeah, real typists can get to like 100, but they changed this to where they could do like 200-300 a minute.
Really?
Well, because it comes down to moving your fingers around, shift keys, that kind of stuff. If you don't have to move your fingers very much,
Huh.
yeah.
Interesting.
But look it up. It's called a QWERTY. Yeah.
QWERTY.
So there's other things like that, like your washing machines. Those are QWERTYs because they built them based on these computer boards that are going to break in like 5 to 10 years. Because the actual mechanisms very rarely wear out. It's normally the computer boards go out first. But they do it on purpose because they want you buying
They
them
want you buying
every
an
15
damn
years.
board.
What are you talking about? Which one?
Have you ever heard of the term QWERTYs? A QWERTY?
A keyboard QWERTY.
Right, where keyboards are built inefficient on purpose because when computers first started, they didn't have the processing speed. So they put the letters in places where they weren't very efficient.
Well, the letter, those were typewriters long before computers came around.
Well,
The QWERTY keyboard was there in the 1900s.
right, but they've since made keyboards that are more efficient to where people can type 3 to 4
Oh,
times faster.
oh.
Because if you look at your most common letters, RSTLNE, they're everywhere.
Yeah, you gotta, I have to
Wait a
think
minute.
about it and look for it.
You're telling me that there's a new QWERTY keyboard?
There's keyboards out that they've made that are more efficient than this one.
More efficient meaning laid out differently?
Yes.
Well, how would someone relearn all of that?
How would they learn this one?
Well, I know, but if you already know this, it would be incredibly ridiculous, I think.
No, come on.
To reinvent the QWERTY keyboard? I mean,
No.
if you're learning to type on a new keyboard, I can see it, but it would be like,
It wouldn't take you long.
Like anything, you'd get used to it.
Yeah, it wouldn't. You're typing 200 words a minute. It wouldn't take long for you to learn that new process.
but so they have more than the same letter in different parts on that keyboard?
So they have, it's essentially the same layout, but you have like RST, LNE, or where your fingers are resting. So you type much faster. You're not moving your fingers around nearly as much. Yeah, we learned about it in business school in college. It's called a QWERTY whenever something's built inefficient.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show, here to help you any way we can. And what we do is take your problems, your questions, your complaints, and try to get you help if you need direct help or answers. And We've been doing it for many, many years, recovering millions of dollars for people in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. This hour brought to you by waterpros.net. The best water systems at the lowest prices anywhere. And that is 303-862-5554. Whole house system starting at around $3,400 to get rid of ugly chemicals or drinking water systems. Hey, and those are only around $1,400. Also, I want to mention something. Ideal Home Loan still has the interest rate guarantee. So if you refi, they will refi you and then refi you free of charge when rates go down. IdealHomeLoans.com. Alberto wants to talk about capital gains. Capital gains or profits or income. Well, income actually is not, regular income is not classified as capital gains. Capital gains is a profit you make. And what is your question, Albert?
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on with you?
Thank you for your help. You helped me many times in the past. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So my parents own a property in Europe, and they're close to 80 years old, 78, 79 years old, and they're thinking about selling this property that they own. But once they wire the money, if they decide to put it on the market, will there be capital gains on that property, even though it's in Europe?
Well, here's how it works, because I've done a lot of securities and stuff around the world, and I can tell you how that works, usually, unless laws have changed. What you do is you have a basis, right? They've kept track of their basis. Is that right?
That's correct. They've owned it for 40 years.
Okay.
50 years.
Okay, so now they have a basis, then they're going to have a sale price. And in the jurisdiction where it sells, there's going to be taxes paid to whatever jurisdiction there is. Okay? So whatever the jurisdiction is, they're going to pay taxes. So where is it in Europe?
It's in Italy.
Okay, so they're going to pay Italian. It's pretty hefty. They're going to pay some gains in Italy. It's long-term capital gains. And then what will happen is, and where in Italy is it?
It's right between Rome and Naples on the Adriatic.
Okay,
It's a
so they're
town
gonna
called
have. I don't think they're gonna have any local capital gains. They might have some sales fees, but whatever they pay in taxes, they, as American citizens, they're going to get a credit for. But they're going to have to pay tax on whatever is not credited. Like if we have more, I don't know. I think if we have more or less tax, I don't know. But the way it normally works is you pay whatever tax you pay where you are, and then you get a credit for that here.
Okay. So
normally, like I said, the laws might have changed since although it hasn't been that long for me. But if you sell stuff in another country, the United States, now other countries aren't as kind, but the United States kind of says if you own something somewhere else and you pay taxes there, you don't have to pay them again here. Usually. Yeah. But a good accountant will let you know. What is their cap gain going to be? Do you know?
Well, the house was built 50 years ago, and I don't even know what the house is worth right now.
It's a residence?
Yeah, it's a residence. Yeah, it's a little villa.
Do they live there?
No, nobody lives there. They live here, but nobody. The house is closed. I mean, not necessarily closed. I have family members that are in and out of the house, but nobody lives in it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. There are some different capital gains for commercial or residential, even if it's not your personal property. But again, you're going to have to get someone over there. I mean, you must know people over there, right?
Yeah, I just got back from there a few weeks ago, actually.
Okay. Well, are you Italian?
Yeah, I am, yes.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, if you want to deed that to me, I'd gladly take it.
Okay.
So, anyway, why don't you take it from them?
That's what she's asking. Well, that's what my parents want to do. She goes,
why wouldn't you take a villa in Italy? What are you, nuts?
I know. We're thinking about it. We're thinking about different options here. So,
all right, here's what it is. Here, I just looked up the tax there.
Okay.
So they don't have. Well, anyway, here's what it is. It is for a profit less than 15,000 euros, it's 23%. It goes all the way up, holy crap, to 43%.
Wow, 23 to 43%.
Wait a minute. Capital gain is taxed through regular rates. They're not. Yeah, that's what it says here. And I'm looking at Professor Bing, and Professor Bing is very seldom wrong, by the way. Way better than Professor GPT, Chat GPT. I fired him, but I like the co-pilot at Bing. No, seriously. In fact, you know, if you go to AI and ask questions like this, they're usually pretty good at this. Don't ask them social questions. Or you'll find out George Washington was a black man somehow, but I don't know. And but there's all kinds of weird things. And they want to tell you the benefits. Never mind of your kids.
Right. Right.
And, yeah, I don't want to. But seriously, they do have good answers when it comes to facts like this. So what do you have any idea what it will sell for?
I'm guessing 200,000 euros.
And do you know how much they bought it for?
Well, it's kind of hard to explain that because my dad's the one that built the house 50 years ago.
Oh man.
So
wait a minute. Hold on. This is now I'm just reading something else. There's a separate taxation for real estate. Wait. For real estate, when you're selling certain property, there are taxes on the sales mandatory. But if you own the property, no, they do have some lesser rates here. So if the property is sold after 5 years, then the capital gains tax goes down quite a bit. So I was wrong. The other stuff I told you was they talk about capital gain as everything. I mean, they're even talking about income. So they're just talking about what they really mean are income brackets. I read it wrong. And then the other tax for sale of property is topped out at, I believe, 26%.
26%.
That's what it's saying here. Yeah. So now, so that would be equivalent to here. You may end up not paying much tax here, in
the United States.
Right. You may end up that way because they are U.S. citizens, I'm assuming, right?
They're not U.S. citizens.
Well, then they may not pay it. Why would they pay any tax?
Well, they've been here 50 years, but.
Well, I know, but do they? Okay, but if you don't have any income, in the U.S., I mean, just because you're living here, if you're not a citizen, doesn't.
They're retired now. They're retired. Both of them are.
Okay, but what the point is, the income is not here. And they're not citizens. So I don't even know. I don't even know that you pay anything. Technically, I don't know.
So if you transfer the money over the IRS, it wouldn't raise a flag on the IRS. Say, where is this money coming from?
Well, yeah. Well, they're going to want to. It could raise a flag, but that doesn't matter. You can still, as long as you report everything honestly, they'll let you know. They're not going to make up a tax just to get it.
Right. Okay.
So if I were you. I mean, obviously, we can get one of our tax authorities here, but it looks to me like I don't think you're going to have much burden in the U.S. I don't see how, if someone is living here, they're not a citizen, the income is not derived here, they sell a property in Europe, I don't see why any tax is due here at all. I mean, I can't think of a scenario where a tax is due here just because you're here. I mean,
right.
I could possibly see California passing bills like that. They have like California passed a bill that if you, and I know people don't have a lot of sympathy for rich people, but if you park your yacht or your plane, your jet on the ramp out there at the airport or at the dock in California, and it's there for more than 30 days, they're going to make you pay a use tax as if it's domiciled there. Now, think about that. Now, obviously, they want to catch the cheats who are Californians buying them in other states, right? But truly, if you're on business and they keep track of it, now, I don't mean 30 days in a row. I mean cumulatively. if they notice that that jet was there for so many days, you're going to pay an income, or not income tax, it's a use tax or like a sales tax, as if it was domiciled there. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. They go and mark down your N numbers. They make the FBOs do it.
Well, they're getting all the money they can. They need it.
They did it to me.
They need it. They need it.
They do that for motorhomes. They do that for yachts. They do that for aircraft, for expensive aircraft. I don't think they'll do it. Somebody flies in with a Cessna, but
For more than 30 days?
I think it was 30. There were some claiming. EuroPlumbingColorado.net means value. EuroPlumbingColorado.net means you will pay the cheapest price for a water heater, like $13.99 for a 40-gallon tank. No one can touch that. $14.99 for a 50-gallon tank. That's fully installed. The old one hauled away. EuroPlumbingColorado.net means deals. No matter what it comes to, they say put them to the test for plumbing. Deals. 303-668-6844. 668-6844. EuroPlumbingColorado.net. Retirement Planning Center American Restoration is a company that I hope you never need. But I will tell you this. If you have a property catastrophe like a fire, a flood, a broken pipe, wind damage where weather gets in, something like asbestos or mold you discover in your house, any kind, even unattended death, crime in a rental maybe, there's a meth lab, my God, a marijuana grow can get into the drywall and everything. Whatever it is with your property, you need a company that has the knowledge, know-how, experience, EPA certifications, bonding, insurance, and everything you need to get it done right. Now, your insurance may recommend someone else cheaper, but if it's not a good company, you end up with the bag, holding the bag, because they only pay once at your insurance, and they'd rather pay a schlock company than a good one. So you get to choose American Restoration, 8337-AMREST, 8337-AMREST, or amrest247.com.
So are you originally from New York?
Yeah.
Upstate New York?
Yeah, I was born in the mountains up there in Catskill, but I worked in New York City or in Albany. I mean, for my real jobs.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Huh. You don't have the accent.
No, because of broadcasting. We had to lose it.
You train it. You train to get rid of it.
Not even the upstate New York accent.
Right.
You know, like my sisters and it sounds.
Wow.
It sounds weird when I hear them.
We have friends from Buffalo and.
If I did it correctly, I'm not supposed to have any accent. But that was years ago. Now they don't care. Now, in fact, I think that it's charming. I think that's what I think in broadcasting school now, they don't beat it out of you.
Really?
And also, when I get tired, my wife accuses me of going to New York.
So my mom.
Get out of there.
My mom being from Boston, when we get her drinking, or she's mad.
Yeah, it goes
comes
back.
out. Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's when you know it's like.
That's
oh.
what happens.
Yeah, it's
what
fun.
are you doing?
Yeah. That whole park the car.
Well, my God,
what?
the shortcuts my sisters take with the language. I mean, or the words, and my brothers too. Like, I don't know.
Will you take line 4 next for me? She's been holding a long time.
Oh.
It's a good update.
Who is it? Oh, yeah. Tell her I'm so sorry. I will.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So Bo has Mike there. Okay, so no one says while in New York. They say why. Like
I'll be there in a while.
I'll be there. No. So why I'm waiting, I did this.
Really?
Oh, gotcha.
Why I'm waiting? Huh?
Or I was doing this while I'm waiting. And I swear, everyone. And I'd say, I don't know, why were you waiting? I mean, it's just, but that's just a little one. Or okay, that will be. That'll be. There's no contraction, data, right?
Well, there's fast talking.
It'd be
Fast talking.
okay. It'd be be okay. What's it'd be okay? It would be
It'll
okay.
Shorten it up, huh?
Huh.
And stuff like eggs are eggs.
Lake is lake.
Sauce is sauce.
Okay.
Quarter is quarter. I remember
Quarter.
quarter. Quarter
Wow.
for soda.
Yeah, that's where the Boston
Quarter.
comes in. No
When I-
R's.
When I was driving south to move to do my TV down south in Fort Myers was my first full-time TV job. I worked in Albany on TV and newspapers and radio, but when I went full-time TV, so I'm moving south, and as I go south, the language got weirder and weirder. And so finally we're in Georgia, and I ordered some, the guy comes to do, I don't know. We went into a convenience store getting gas, and the guy said, what do you say? Want paper sack for it? And I said, what? Want paper sack for it? And I said, oh my God, I didn't. He said, do you want a paper sack for it? I bought something. He wanted to know if he should bag it.
Yeah.
Want a paper sack for it?
Sounds like a foreign language.
That's Creole right
Want a paper
there.
sack for it?
Yeah.
No, this is Georgia though. I mean,
Right.
want a paper sack for it? Want a paper sack for it?
Yeah. Yeah. I love the dialects.
I know.
Yeah.
Fiduciary Advisors, TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. I want to go to Janet right now. Janet worked with Deputy Bo, who's in today, and she had some roof shingle problem. Bo, do you remember what this? Can you sum this up real quick?
Yes. Hi, Janet.
So,
Yeah. Thanks for holding. Yes.
When did she call, by the way?
She called. I think you called in last Friday.
Okay, got it. So let's see. So what happened?
So Janet emailed us her contract from ISP Specialty Products, Integrated Successful Projects. She had you had the roof
that
done.
one. Yeah, that one. That
And,
really bugged me.
And I do have a question for you, Janet. You said that you wanted, or you think you were supposed to get these IR hail impact shingles.
No. When it was taking so long for them to get started on the project, he told me that that's what the problem was. But it's more than just the shingles. It's not total
Here's what it was. It was you said that September 6th, the initial estimate was $18,000, and then they put in supplementals for $40,000. So it more than doubled. And here's what Jay said, one of our experts. Mark. I'm sorry, at Genesis.
Mark at Genesis went
Mark
out
at
there.
Genesis said, man, the roof was done okay, but they exaggerated sadly, when it came to the supplementals. Like one part of the house should have been painted for $1,500. They charged over $5,000, and on and on and on. Now, I want to make this clear. It was paid for by your insurance. I'm not sure why you're complaining, except I'm with you on not wanting them to get away with it. But, Bo, did you ask them specifically about why they overcharged so much on their supplements?
Well, I didn't really understand what the supplements were about. Mark was going to address that issue, but Janet does have
and
all
he said
the
some of them
funds.
he didn't even do.
Yeah,
some
Janet's withholding all the money
Yeah.
right now.
Janet's in the
Oh.
Janet's in the driver's seat because you have all the money.
Okay, so
yes, I haven't
by the
paid
way,
them any money.
there were some skylights they charged for doing, or vents. They charged for doing three new ones, and they used two of the old ones and didn't even do a third one. So that alone, what I would do is go through it, but you are going to owe them something. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do understand that.
Hey, Tom.
But I haven't paid them a penny, but the work that they've done is I've been doing this since September. It's now April.
Well, Mark at
And-
Genesis says there's nothing wrong with your roof. You should pay for it.
My understanding was she was expecting a higher class shingle, but on the contract, what's on her roof is what's on the contract.
Mark said at Genesis, now he's an independent guy looking at this, said that roof was fine and should be paid for.
Yeah, and the shingles that are on the contract
Match the contract.
match the contract.
That's
but
right.
she thought she was getting some other shingles.
She's
I
got to
thought that-
pay for the roof. Okay, whatever the roof bid, she's got to pay. Now, As far as the supplements, what Mark said was there were some that were overcharged and some that were not done. The overcharging part, unfortunately, your insurance agreed to. But I think the only thing you can withhold payment for is stuff that was not done. And that's it, Janet. I don't know what else you wanted to hear.
Well, some of the work that they've done is wrong.
Okay. Give me one thing that was done wrong.
Okay. Around my bedroom window, they put like a border.
No,
around it.
that's right. That's right. Mark said that too. You're right. That has to be redone. But what I'm getting at is this. The majority of the money you're going to owe. Do you understand that? See, yeah. I don't want to give you the wrong impression that you're going to get to keep a bunch of money. You're not.
No, that's not it. I only want what is fair. And all this extra work was not needed or asked for.
That doesn't matter, Janet. Your insurance paid for it because they thought you needed it. Now, if they didn't do it, you shouldn't pay for it. But you're not going to get to keep the money because you disagree that you needed it. Your insurance company had the opportunity to, and by the way, have the authority to, not you. If your insurance company says you needed it and agreed with the contractor, then you needed it. The disagreement I have with integrating successful projects, roofing and construction, are the things they didn't do right or the things they didn't do at all. So the things you have to redo or the things you have to do because they did not do, you should retain. Everything else should be paid to them. And you may have to hire someone to spec it out for you. But you know you're going to owe $18,000 for the roof because you agreed to it, right?
Absolutely.
Did you pay them the $18,000?
I have not paid them. I haven't even heard from them in over a month.
Yeah, well, here's the deal, Janet.
No,
There's at some point, I depart from the consumer when they won't, because these people, I don't like them. I don't like what they did. I don't like the overcharging. I don't like any of it. But I also don't like withholding every penny either, because that's not reasonable. So I am
not withholding anything, though, Tom. I have not. They haven't asked for a dime.
Janet, they don't have to ask. You owe. Okay, it's a matter of perspective. You owe. They did the work. You owe the money. Okay, so you owe some of the money. I agree with you. Again, the stuff they didn't do or the stuff that has to be redone. I'm not going to discuss whether or not you paid too much for the roof or you paid too much for the painting or you didn't think you needed this or you didn't think you needed that. None of that comes into consideration with me. The only thing I'm concerned about is stuff they did not do or stuff they did not do properly. Those are what you should retain for. That's what you need to retain. I'm not going to say it anymore, but that's there's nothing else we can do. And I just want to say something, and you know, I'm not going to direct this at Janet, but I'm going to direct it toward callers like Janet. I can't tell you how many times I have consumers who find that a contractor did something wrong, and then they use it as an excuse not to pay because they want to keep the money, or they want to pay a ridiculous amount. I've had people who had contractors do great work except for 10% of it. But they want to settle on half. I'll pay you half the bill. Half? I said, they only did 10% wrong. It's a way because, and here's why. When insurance pays the consumer directly, now I don't think they should pay the business directly either, by the way. But they shouldn't pay the consumer directly either. There should be someone in charge, because when a consumer gets money in their pocket and they put it in their bank, it often becomes a pickup truck or it becomes a boat. And it doesn't become, let's fix the house. Or if the money is in their account and then the house is fixed, all of a sudden they look for excuses not to pay. Now, I know there are hundreds of contractors out there nodding their heads yes, saying, you got it, man, you got it. But at the same time, the other thing happens where contractors exaggerated or didn't do all of the work. There's a balance here, folks. There's a right and there's a wrong. It should be self-evident.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver.
Look at this.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America.
Slow driving into downtown for the noon hour. I-25 southbound showing speeds in the 30s and 40s between 58th and Spear Boulevard. 6th Avenue eastbound, some stop and go on the off-ramp to I-25 southbound. Out east heading to DIA I-70 eastbound. It's busy driving between Peoria and Pena Boulevard. Leaving DIA Pena westbound, you're going to see some stop and go between the Jackson Gap and Gun Club Road through roadwork. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, rain and snow today, high 39 degrees, overnight low of 34. Tomorrow scattered showers continue with a high of 56. More rain and snow on Saturday as well. The current temperature in Denver is 34 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America N.A. Copyright 2024.
Homevestors, what the heck is that? Well, they invest in homes. So here's what I want to tell you. Homevestors will buy your house. Now, you might think, Tom, they're not going to give me what I want. And I say, maybe they won't. But here's the deal. All it takes is a phone call. Isn't that wonderful? They'll give you a price pretty quick. So if you want to sell your house conventionally, and I recommend that, do it. But if you don't want to repair it, you don't want to maintain it, or you have deferred maintenance, or you don't want tire kickers, inspections, financing approval, you just want to get a check, then you want to call Homevestors. Now, Homevestors has been with me for many years, and here's the number, 800-44-BUYER, 800-44-BUYER. Okay, on another note, let's say you want to keep the house and just spruce it up, and you need some window coverings. Did you know that Made in the Shade comes and does everything free of charge as far as up to the point where you buy your stuff? The measuring alone is an enormous task because they do it to the 16th or less. That's right, tiny, tiny measurements. And they also will help you with not just that, but they help you with picking the right stuff for the right room with a designer. Once it's done, their in-house installers take care of all of it for you. That's right, Made in the Shade. It's denvershades.co. denvershades.co.
This is your...
Now he started, I thought he was like Deputy Doc for a while there.
Huh?
The way he just ran into that 369, 12.
This is that keyboard I was talking about?
Oh, okay. But it's more efficient than the standard QWERTY. So when you said QWERTY, I thought...
It's called a QWERTY.
No, this is called a QWERTY because
right.
of the way the letters.
Right.
But this was from the beginning of time. The new one, the Dvorak is a new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is the term QWERTY
comes from the letters.
That's right.
QWERTY.
That's exactly right. And they teach it as when a business runs an inefficient model on purpose.
Oh, they call it QWERTY?
It's called a QWERTY.
Okay, but the QWERTY keyboard truly
is a product, yes.
Was not inefficient. In fact, the reason they did it back then was because, do you know how they did it?
Yeah, you had typewriters, and typewriters have arms that go across, and if you move too fast, they cross and stick.
And they had people, they had these eggheads figure out, like just on a 10 key, the way they lay it, figure out what letters should be where and which ones aren't.
Based on those arms. That's right.
And then it became
the computer.
But people just learned it, so they kept it that way.
Even though it's inefficient.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in it. That's
right.
That's right.
Right. You got it. Or we got it. We're on the same page.
But it wasn't designed to be inefficient.
Well, it was kept as being inefficient on purpose.
Maybe,
yeah.
But it wasn't designed to be inefficient.
Because the computers, the processing speed wasn't fast.
The design
was to
be efficient originally.
Right. Working
like,
with the tech.
Yeah. There are a lot of old things that are carryovers that there's no reason for. I'm going to tell you, the FAA Have you ever seen a weather report with the FAA? You got to be a decipherer. It's in code.
Okay.
It's in code.
Okay.
It's in code.
Yeah.
And I mean
I
this
believe
sincerely.
you. No, I believe you.
And it's hard to remember and to decipher, like thunderstorms and lightning, and just if you look at a coded weather report. Now, why did they do that? Because the weather report, instead of saying lightning all quadrants, there would be a code, or thunderstorms would be a code. Hail would be a code. Well, that's because they took a forecast or observation that were this many words, and they made it a line, so it could come off a ticker tape. Because they were getting it not on a monitor, but on a ticker tape. So they would rip it off and look at it, rip it off and look at it. Well, they didn't want 6 feet of weather, right? Nor did they, or even if they typed it, then when they had the new rolls of paper, they still wanted you to rip off this piece of paper, not this piece of paper.
Right.
Okay, well then enter computers and cell phones and everything. And these assholes still give the weather
In that way.
encoded. Now, there's no limit to scrolling. There's no limit to paper. There's no limit to printing. And the FAA will not give you a plain language weather report. Now, in order to get one, you get an app that automatically interprets.
Translates.
Yeah, that's all I have now. But when we take our test in that bullshit, they want you to know the code for no reason whatsoever. I mean, think about that. For no reason. It's just so stupid. Why did they keep it? Now, I can't see any profit motive there or anything like you. So I don't know why they kept it.
The only thing I could think of is to bottleneck the.
761-6400. Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Mark's got a question on a reverse mortgage. Hello, Mark. You're on the Tom Martino Show. What's going on, man?
Hello. Let me get you on Bluetooth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, I'm...
Yeah. Yes? Are you there? Mark? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you
Okay,
hear
bro.
me?
I got you. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm in a bad spot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go. No, I can hear you fine, though. Go ahead.
So I'm 57 and I just went through a divorce. I'm living on about 2.5 acres in my camper, and I'm planning on building a house. This area is kind of mixed with nice homes and really bad homes. So I don't want to overbuild. And I'm wondering, is there a limit?
Oh, you are in a bad area, but I want to hear. Okay, this is really important that we get this information. So now, how much property did you say you had? Are you still there, Mark? Dang.
2.5 acres.
Okay, now, are there covenants there?
No.
No covenants at all. Okay. Now, what is your question then about building? You want to build a home?
Well, I'm planning.
Tom, I wonder if he's asking, can you get a reverse mortgage on a home build? I wonder if that's his question.
Is that your question, Mark?
Oh, I don't want to overbuild this area.
Right.
Because it would be too hard to sell.
Well, you
And I'm trying to
absolutely
figure
shouldn't. You shouldn't, especially because it has no covenants. So you're right. You should not overbuild. Okay, keep going, and I'll pick up your words when I can.
I'm sorry. It's about to get better. So how do they qualify you? I mean, is there a certain dollar amount that they will not reverse mortgage?
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of limits, but those are way high. But I wouldn't use a reverse loan to build, but you can't use one to build. You can use it to buy a home, a new home, but you can't use it. You can't get a construction loan.
No, I can afford to have the home built.
Okay. All right. You can get private products of $1 million, but you won't need them. But the limit you don't have to worry about. What you have to worry about is loan to value. So you're 57. So by the time you get this, how old are you going to be? 62, right? You have to. You have to be.
When I want to get the mortgage, it'll be 68.
Okay.
That's when I plan on retirement.
All right. If you want to get the loan at 68, the most you'll probably get at 68, I should look at these charts somewhere, but I think it's around 40 to 45%.
I'm sorry, I'm not getting my point across very well. Let's say I buy a manufactured home and put on the property. Can I get a reverse mortgage on a manufactured home?
If it's put on a property the proper way and it has FHA or approval or HUD approval, yes. Not if it has wheels. Okay, you got to do it so HUD or FHA would loan on it.
Okay, it just needs to be merged to a foundation.
It's got to be real. It's got to, an FHA and HUD is the easiest way to look at it.
Okay, all right. So,
but let's say the project costs you $100,000, and it appraises for $150,000. You're not going to get any more than $60,000 or something. I'm not doing the math on a calculator, but the most you're going to get at 68 is maybe 40 to 45%, if that. Because the max on a reverse loan is 50% if you're an old person. I believe they might have changed it a little, but they don't let you get seriously leveraged because they want to make sure they can accrue all of that unpaid interest on that loan, which then compounds against it. And they want to make sure you don't eat up your equity in your lifetime. So they not amortize it, but they charge it according to, they limit the loan to value according to your age.
Okay. I didn't want to overbuild the area because it'd be a lot out of my pocket, but I didn't also, I wanted to make sure I built enough to qualify for a reverse mortgage.
Well, yeah, you're going to get a reverse mortgage. They don't care how much. There's no. There might be a downward limit, but I have no idea what it would be.
Okay. So just look at it as as being FHA.
Yeah, if you can get an FHA loan, you can get a reverse loan. And I'm looking up the table here for LTV limits. And let me think. A loan to value on a reverse loan. Okay. Ranges. Okay. I'm wrong, actually. They're saying on this table, it goes from 50% to a low to 65% to a high.
Okay.
And the limit has been set at $1,149,000.
Well, that's way more than me anyway.
Yeah. Well, that would be a limit of the appraisal. So the biggest loan is going to be half of that or 65% of that. So I think you're going to be fine if you want to do a reverse loan like that. But remember, there's give and take on all of that. And if you can afford to build it and you're just looking for money to live on, you might want to consider some creative things like taking the money from a reverse loan and buying an annuity, a fixed indexed annuity. Now, that fixed indexed annuity will guarantee you income, guarantee it. And the reverse loan will guarantee you'll never lose your home, ever. So think about this. You get an annuity and you immediately annuitize it for income. Or you get it at 62, get a lower amount, and annuitize it in 10 years. Whatever the thing, you either annuitize it immediately at 68 or 70, or you get it earlier and annuitize it later and let it fester for several years. Now think about this. You're not repaying that reverse loan ever, ever. Now, you're not going to have any equity to leave to anyone of any appreciable amount. Maybe you would, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to have to worry about that part of it. Now you have guaranteed growth and income on a fixed index annuity. Now, by the way, I'm not telling you a fixed index annuity is the only investment there is in the world. It's not. It's in fact, You should never put all your money in one of those. It's a tool for income. It's a tool for growth, modest growth, and good income. So now think about this. Now you're going to take Social Security and you're going to supplement it with the annuity payment. And you don't have to pay back that loan. Now, if you took out a regular loan on your home to do that, you'd be insane. But you don't. But with a reverse loan, if you're married to the idea and comfortable with the idea, you're not going to care about your equity, and you can suck that equity out of there and put it in a fixed indexed annuity and not have to pay back the equity loan. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, the real estate man, does free evaluations of your home, by the way, if you want to know what it will sell for on the market. And it's not just free, it's detailed, basically, to let you know where you stand in the market with no obligation ever to list. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622.
I wonder why she'd even have a promissory note, because she has the whole money. I just can't believe the
I think that
You do that so that it passes through.
I think that the new contract law for the roofer made assignment of payments. I thought it made it a you can't. They don't permit you to do that. But they're not enforcing that either. But the state came out with what the contracts have to have on them, which no one does. No one does, and it has to have the right to rescind and all of that.
Well, 3-day right of rescission, absolutely, that's federal. But after
Well,
that point,
well, it's also state. State changed it, and
Oh.
and yeah, and
it's like Minnesota requires 20 days.
RedRocksRS.com stands for Red Rocks Roof and Solar. Red Rocks is a wonderful company for your solar systems. They do the sales, installation, and service. Very seldom do you have companies that really actually sell what they install and service. And then they help you with the taxes, the credits. They help you with the financing or grants for commercial buildings. You might want to look into it. They're good people. RedRocksRS.com. RedRocksRS.com. Denver Regen will save you money on that weight loss supplement, semaglutide, or the even stronger one called tirzepatide. Some people are finding it to be such a welcomed relief in their diet and exercise program. And you can get it for starting at $250 a month, which is unheard of. It's inexpensive. Plus, it's plentiful, where if you go for the brand name, you can't even find it. And when you do, it's $1,200 to $1,400 a month. DenverRegen.com. Simply Floors, Inc. is such a simple name to remember because it's simplyfloorsinc.com. Buddy and Karen Mitchell are the experts there, along with their team of experts. In fact, they'll send one to your house with what you're interested in, whether it be luxury vinyl tile. You might want hardwoods or engineered floors like those veneers, or maybe a laminate. Whatever you want, they have. Carpeting, and they have great prices and great service. Simply Floors, INC, simplyfloorsinc.com.
Oh, did you get my text about do you have a Gmail account or only the AOL?
I have my phone off. I have AOL.
You probably need to create a Gmail
I do have a Gmail.
To get, what, does he want to get on?
I'm letting him use a tablet for research and YouTube and stuff. Do you know that username and password that you can log in? Because I think, here's the thing with YouTube. You can watch the feed, but if you're not logged in with an email or something, you won't be able to interact with the chat. And I assume that's why you wanted to watch the live video. I don't know. That's up to you.
I thought I kind of had to watch the YouTube. I don't need to watch the YouTube, do I?
No, I thought you wanted to, but no, you don't have to at all. And if you don't want
It might be good. So yeah, I can just probably wait for my kids. My kids said they were going to buy me
And then even with Chrome, I think it's it's gonna be the same.
Okay, I do have a Gmail though.
Okay.
You want me to text it to you or just give it to you?
If you trust me with it, I
Oh,
can
sure.
log you in.
Heck,
with
I'll
it.
give you my password because I'm old
Okay,
school.
text it to me. You go ahead
seem
and put your
honest
banking
enough. Here you
information
go.
in there,
You know what?
okay, Bo?
You know,
I
my
need
kids,
that.
my kids gave me the password. I don't think I know what it is. Do you need a password?
Yeah, I'll need a password and you, or if you just want to do it, if you want your daughters to help you, that's fine. Just give it to you to do. I have it
Let
all
me give it
charged
to
up
you.
for you.
I'm gonna give you the password.
What kind of tablet is it?
It's just a Samsung.
Yeah,
You know, Mark got it for me, but I love my iPad when I need a tablet. I only use it to work out,
kind
use
of
my
a
little
dinosaur.
exercise videos.
There you go.
And
I
for
learn
reading
everything
when I'm
from
on
my
the tread.
kids.
It's got bigger font than like my little Kindle.
Are you a big reader?
Lately I have been. I
Okay.
puzzle and I read.
I have to ask this. What's your favorite book?
I don't know if I have an all-time favorite. I just read one, it's called, This Little Life or A Little Life recently. Holy cow. I was literally on the treadmill in tears reading this dang book.
You know,
I don't
Let me
wanna
send
do
it to you.
that.
Well, it was just heart-wrenching,
Well-
but it was good. It was about 4 college guys. What?
This Little Life? Is that what it's called?
This Little Life, let me see here.
So I drive 60 to 80,000 miles a year. So I
Do you do books on tape?
Yes.
I love those.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's what I do. Or
Yeah.
I only actually read for education, reference, and spiritual stuff. I don't ever read except for
fun?
that. No, never. Because I don't find it fun. You know what I mean? The stories. I'd rather listen to them or watch them.
Fair enough.
But I love reading. But I only love reading for edification.
So I do one personal book, one business book, and then
What-
one for fun.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Like for
Where's my
self-growth,
password?
okay.
I like, I just couldn't do the fun reading. I don't know. I just never got into it, ever.
Crazy good.
I always looked at reading
I
as
don't know if I
learning.
have a
you know?
favorite. I mean, watch you listen to it, you're like,
Well,
this lady has no taste.
I know that's weird
No, no,
because
it's-
some people find it so pleasurable, and I
large
understand
S.
that completely.
Well,
And what's your Gmail
interesting
account?
is
What's your
I like
email?
getting into different
Oh, I
points of
texted
view.
it to you.
So
Oh,
when you
okay.
ask like somebody who's way different than you,
Thanks.
you get a book that you've never heard of, and it was really.
But I consider that educational. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I read books about that. That's not See, I don't read stories.
Well, like a good example, I had this lady who her favorite thing is biographies.
Okay.
And her favorite biography of all time was
Brian Shuling.
Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams joins me to discuss Democrat Representative Leslie Herrod's egregious anti-cop bill presented to the Colorado House on Wednesday. It all starts at 2 here on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Hey, 888heating.com is going to do your $28 service call, $28 with a service. So that means they come for your water heater, they service it, flush it, $28. If you need anything, they credit you the $28. They do the same thing for toilets. They do the same thing for sinks. Any one stop, one item, $28. That's it. 888heating.com. I think that's a pretty cool way of doing business. Then they credit you if you need any additional repairs. 303-770-2776. We call it the risk-free service fee. All right, now let's talk to Cody. Cody, I was just alluding to something like this with the roofing where consumers don't want to pay, but sometimes they have a good reason not to pay. You're facing this where you can't get a customer to pay. What's the situation with you?
Yeah, so, and it's not just me. It's actually, there's several businesses that this one company has impacted. So the Colorado Spartans are an indoor arena football team up in Greeley. They play at the Budweiser Event Center Blue Arena.
Okay.
And they have stayed since the beginning of their season. They've been staying at various hotels throughout Greeley and have done everything they can to avoid paying them. So they've stayed at, I know for certain, they've stayed at the Woodspring Suite.
Wait a minute. Do you mean the team has stayed?
Yes, that's correct.
And then they jump out on the bill?
Correct. So
what?
At Candlewood
Yeah, at Candlewood Suites, they owe tens of thousands of dollars.
Wait a minute. What's the name of this? Wait, this might be the first sports team I have on the Sleeves Brigade. What's the name of the team?
Colorado Spartans. And I have the owner's name as well.
What do they play? I'm sorry, I'm so ignorant of these sports. What is it?
They're a brand new arena football team this year.
Oh, that's why I don't know them. That's schlock. Okay, so arena football. Does anyone even watch that anymore? Arena
I
football.
didn't even know it was a thing until I started hearing about this team.
Jackson, you watch arena football? Come on, man. Do you?
No, sir, but I have some friends that are in the arena
They like
football
it?
league. They're
They
in the
like
league.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but does anyone come to watch?
Sure. They'll draw 1,500, 2,000.
So arena football, wow. Didn't LA own a team?
I'm
I
not
thought
sure
he did.
about that.
Anyway, so Colorado Spartans arena football team basically cheats people out of hotel bills.
Correct.
And wait, you okay? No. This is a good story. So let me. And I know all those who listen to my show to get their stories. I know they're taking notes right now, so I'll make it easy for them. So, the Spartans football team. Who's the owner?
His name is Tony Thompson.
Tony Compton.
Thompson. Thompson.
Oh, Thompson. Okay, hold on. We're going to run out of time. Do not hang up, Cody. I want this. I want to spread it around. 303-713-TALK. We got a sports team, might be the ever first, on our Sleeves Brigade at sleevesbrigade.com. Won't that be something? Tony Thompson, the owner, will delve into it right after this on the Troubleshooter Show.
So out of Kansas City, I have two buddies that they play on the Kansas City arena.
What do they make?
Nothing.
50 grand.
Not even. No, they make like $500 a game.
Do it this
Oh,
way,
it's
the
no,
buttons
it's a
are this
part-time
way,
deal.
So you can turn it up and down.
Imagine, because you already have
I think you need this.
NFL. Then below that,
Yeah, how can I help you, but-
Then below that, you'd go to like arena
Yeah, that's
football
what I
in
was doing
Canada.
for you. I think you need that.
And then
to
below that
shout.
is arena football here in the U.S. So your market is so small at that level. So that's why you're
Is
based
it-
out of Greeley or.
So rugby is bigger.
Oh, sure. Your levels down. Yeah. You're. What is it? The Mammoth we're talking about now?
I forget. Don't we have Raptors too?
All right, here you are.
I thought the Mammoth were the rugby and the Raptors were the lacrosse. Maybe it was the other way.
No, I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't go to either one.
I
I don't go to either one.
Do
That's
you
the
have a
terrible
little
part. I'm a
laptop or
basketball guy.
something?
I played overseas. I watched the Nuggets. I grew up with the Nuggets. You know, you love them. Are you a sports guy?
No. I should.
Oh, yeah,
Why?
it's on Wi-Fi.
I don't even know why I should.
You gotta be on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, why should you be?
I have it on the Wi-Fi
Why
here.
should be?
I don't know. Everyone's into it.
Oh, he
No,
likes to
we-
fly and ride horses is what I've gotten so far.
Yeah, there you go.
What's that?
You like to fly and ride horses.
I love my horse. Well, my horse is dead now, but I grew up on my horse. I had my horse.
Let me make sure all the updates
Yeah.
are on it. It
Well,
might
they
need
don't.
a
How
software
old was he?
update.
25,
Let me
30?
see, it's relatively
It was
new.
premature because
Ah.
of course he did. So I did a stupid thing when he was a baby. You know, I just treated him like a baby. And so I used to take his hay and I used to take all the sticks out of it. And then I would I just went through the hay and gave him perfect hay. I know that sounds silly, but here's what happened.
Doesn't sound silly.
No, they.
The reason I did that
Love that horse.
because I just wanted him to have a nice hay. But what I realized was when they eat hay and they do this, they learn to take the sticks out. They learn that. They expel this. If you watch them eating hay, and their lips go like this,
Yeah.
and they're feeling for sticks, and they, well, Harris never got that skill. I mean, he might have done that out of instinct, but he didn't know what he was doing. So when I was going through divorce, and we had horses, Donna took her horse, and I took mine, but I couldn't take care of it. She could take care of hers because she stayed on the ranch, and I took my horse and boarded it, and they just fed him hay. So he ingested a stick, and it punctured his intestines. Well, I brought him over to Littleton Large, and I spent $10,000 trying to get him in surgery. But they said, Tom, it's too far gone. You know, when he comes out of anesthesia, you're going to have him on a meal, and he's not going to be your horse anymore. So while he was under anesthesia, I just said, just let him fall asleep, because he wasn't traumatized. But man, it was terrible. I had him from baby to 17 years old, and I know that wasn't that long, but man, from raising him from a baby. And I never had to break him because when he was a baby, I played with him and I would lean on him and I would lean over him like a sack of potatoes and we played. So when he was ready to ride, usually what we do is you get a cowboy or a trainer to get on him and they call it breaking him. And I watched this process, and so when the guy came over, I says, you know what? We don't have to break anything. He's not broken. I said, let's try it another way. So I put a bear pad on with stirrups. They're the kind of heavy-handled stirrups I wouldn't kill myself. But he was so used to me playing with him, he just looked up at me and starts walking. And the guy said, okay, well, we still have to do it. And I said, you can do that part, but you don't have to,
Yeah, fight him.
Right.
No,
So you don't have to break them.
My brother-in-law does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead, well, because a lot of them just have they bring a quarter horse, and he was an Arab, mine was, but they take a quarter horse or something from the field and get on them for the first time, for God's sake. Well, then you need to break them because these guys are like, and mine wasn't like that. He was raised like and unfortunately, I did so many stupid things, like raising him like that because he played with the dogs, and he would hurt the dogs, not on purpose because he was so big. He never got to know he was a regular horse, so they'd be running along, and the dog would go rolling away because he got hit, but he wasn't doing it on purpose. The other thing is hand feeding him, so your kids would come by, and he'd look at their hands, and he was not what they called polite, because he was raised. I did not know how to raise a horse.
Right.
I treated him like a pet. And so, but I did other things
No manners.
I did other things I taught him how to stay. I taught my dogs how to stay. I taught him how to stay. I remember one time, so I get off my horse, I drop the reins, and I start walking away, and the guy says, what are you doing? And he's a cowboy friend of mine, and he had a quarter horse. I said, I told him to stay. He said, what the fuck? You can't teach a horse.
You can't do that.
Well. And I said, watch. I said, stay. And he's watching me. And I go away, and the guy, I'll be a son. He was so funny. I'll be a son of a bitch. This ain't right. And I said, I went like this, and he came. And it was funny.
That's awesome.
So
too bad.
When Stephanie first, because Stephanie and I have been friends forever, she'd come over to the house, and her sister loves horses, so she brought her sister over to visit me. And we were in the kitchen, and Julie, Briggs, Stephanie's sister, says, where's your horse? So I opened up the kitchen window because he would put his head through the window. He was in the yard. He would put his head through the window at the sink when I was washing dishes or doing anything because I'd feed him a carrot or two. He was the most undisciplined, but it was because he thought he was a freaking giant dog.
That's how you trained him.
And it was bad because a farrier did not like shoeing him because.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's why. I played with him a lot. So when I was picking out his hooves, you would pick them out and get all the debris out before you ride and after you ride. So take the stones out. So when I was doing this, I'd always play with him. So he'd nip at my butt, and I'd go like this. So when the guy came to shoe him, you have to understand something. They're used to a horse doing this because that's what they should do. Really, that's the proper way. And if they get their back shoes done, and they're standing like that with their foot out like this. My horse, as soon as he picked up, he bites his ass, and he goes, "What?" So I had a bad reputation.
Yeah.
They said you don't want to that's not a Martino horse. They truly, honest to God, label him. You don't want to.
You don't want to shoe that horse.
You don't want to. But although I got a guy that kind of was a funny guy. He was a younger man learning. He didn't care. He laughed. But so little things like that did I learn a lesson.
Yeah.
So when I got a horse after that, which I shouldn't have because I never attached to it the same way. I got another horse, and it was a nice horse, but it wasn't the same, so I got rid of him. I got a Frisian, a big Frisian, and I did that horse not from the baby. So he was trained properly. I didn't spoil him. I treated him like a horse. But then I didn't have the same fun.
No.
So,
You're right.
so I sold him to somebody, but somebody who really wanted him. Who really took care of him, because I still like the horse.
Keyword on our website, grand. That's grand at KOAColorado.com.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome. What's going on in your life and how can we help you? This is the Troubleshooter Show. We have a guest today, K-Guard, by the way, KGuardRockyMountains.com, and he's from our referral list. He's been with us for years, Jackson, and they do the new gutters new gutters with the built-in coverings, and they're really nice, really wonderful gutters. We've never, I shouldn't say this because where's the knock on wood thing? We've never had a complaint about you. No, honest. Seriously, we've never had a complaint ever. Now that's going to now people are going to say, oh yeah, one time he came and did it and spit his chaw on the lawn. I'm just kidding. You don't chew.
No, sir.
But in any case, if you do get a complaint, I don't even know what it would be because you clean up after yourself and all that. Most roofers, when we get a complaint, other than rip-offs, I'm talking about good roofers. The only complaint we might get with a good roofer is maybe they didn't clean up as much as they wanted them to, because that's hard to keep property clean.
Yeah.
But,
well, one thing we do to try to work around that is, number one, of course, we have the magnetic rollers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what we try to do that's special to my company is I'm not a lazy owner sitting behind a desk. I will go and visit every customer that wants to do a walk around.
Good.
And the first thing that I do is make sure that if it's not picked up, I'll pick it up. And I'll spend an hour. I don't care. I want to make sure, because at the end of the day, that house is my business card. They're going to talk to their neighbors, and that's it.
So I maintain referrallist.com. That's what you're a member of. Great people. And then I also had something I started years ago called sleazbrigade.com. But this wasn't just for people who are not on the referral list. There are plenty of good people not on the referral list. But these are for the worst of the worst of the worst. If you go to sleazbrigade.com, S-L-E-A-Z, sleaze. Some people try to put the double E. Anyway, sleazbrigade.com. And if you go there, you'll find the worst of the worst. And Cody is calling now with someone that I never thought I'd have a sports team on there, but Cody says that they're getting a reputation in northern Colorado, not that far north, but Loveland area, right? Do they play the arena football? Do they play the arena football at the Budweiser Center up there?
That's correct.
So around there's a bunch of hotels. You're saying that they're getting a reputation for not paying.
Yes, I have it on very good authority that they've done it to minimum 2 hotels.
But for lots of money, right?
Yes, tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay, so give me an idea. What do they owe you?
At the hotel that I am most familiar with, it's about $2,800. At another hotel, which is the Candlewood Suites, it's over $20,000.
What are they doing to try to collect?
There's been letters of demand sent to them, threatening legal action, and received 0 response. There's been a number of phone calls to every phone number associated with the team, and no response back. It's hard to even get the owner to pick up the phone anymore.
Are Colorado Spartans is this the only team there is in Colorado?
In Colorado, to my knowledge, yes. And it's a brand new team this year, is my understanding.
Now, maybe I should amend what I'm saying about the Sleaze Brigade, the sports team. I doubt these individual players. I doubt they know what's going on. It's not like they go in and they're all...
The players are not associated with the payment at all.
Yeah. So if you're on that team, guys, just know that sounds like your boss might be. So do you have a number for this Tony Thompson?
I do. I can pull that up for you real fast.
I want you to do it off the air. Kachina, will you get that number? Bo, why don't you just put in a call, Deputy Bo, if you can, just in a couple of minutes, see if he'll even answer and say, hey, man, we're getting a call on. So I want to put down the hotel specifically again. Okay, go ahead. What are the 2 that you know of?
Wood Spring Suites in Greeley.
Did you say Woodbridge?
Wood Spring.
Spring.
It's an extended stay hotel.
Okay, I never heard of Woodspring. I heard of Woodbridge. Okay, so what else?
Candlewood Suites.
Candlewood. Okay.
Crazy.
What about that other one, the other big one up there that everyone stays at that Four Corners? I mean, I forget the name of it, but there's a big hotel up there.
There's a Marriott up here that I know they stayed at. I was told they got a sponsorship from them, but then got kicked out after 2 days for smoking pot.
So we got some gangsters in our Colorado Spartans, man. I wonder if they wreck the rooms like the rock stars do.
Yes, they did.
What?
There in Woodspring Suites alone, there was over $1,500 worth of fines assessed.
So wait a minute. So you're telling me Woodspring Suites and the other one? What about the other one? They have any damage?
I didn't confirm that with them.
Who do you know at these places?
I've talked to both of the general managers.
Really? Now, why did you speak to? Now, what is your part in all of this?
I work for one of the hotels.
Oh, which one?
Woodspring.
Okay. All right. Tens of thousands of dollars. Why did he let it get up that high?
I have no idea. That's why the Woodspring one is not that high, because of diligent efforts to prevent it from going up any higher.
Oh, so that it's not.
And at one point it was at about 9,000. They did pay some. They just will not pay the full balance. And at Candlewood Suites, my understanding is they have not paid any.
Wow. I wonder. Okay. All right. So get that number, and we'll put you on hold. Get that number, and then we'll figure out what's going on. This is weird. This is a weird one. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Phil, what's going on with you, Phil? Welcome to the show. What's happening, Phil?
Hey, Tom, you know I've called before.
Oh, yeah. I think I recognize your voice from way back. You were in all kinds of businesses over the years. What's happening?
In the radio business.
That's right. Yeah. And you were.
Hey,
yeah.
Tom.
How's your wife doing? How's your wife doing, by the way?
Oh, she's doing all right. She's got type 2 diabetes, a couple blood clots in her lungs, and she can walk very well. We've been married for 60 years, and
well, it's too late to give her up then.
I know.
All right.
Hey, Tom, I wanted to ask you. I have a dog. She's 5 years old. Her name's Daisy, and she's a border collie. She's
my God!
smart,
Border collies are the smartest.
and she's very intelligent. So I was with. I'm trying to think of the PetSmart.
Yeah.
Banfield. I was.
Oh, that Banfield Hospital. We get a lot of complaints about them.
Yeah, well, I've been going there with Daisy, and I had a payment plan. Well,
a payment plan for what? Do you mean like you pay regular payments for vet care? It's like on an installment plan, or was it a specific procedure or visit?
No, visit, like $40 a month I was paying.
And what does that get
no
you?
big
What
thing.
what does the $40 a month get you?
Oh, the examination, blood work, stuff like that.
So is it like health insurance almost? You pay every month and then
yeah,
you okay,
right. So what happened was I went in there for a visit, and she said, "You didn't pay." I said, "Well, I got auto pay. You take it out of my bank account each month." Well, she said, "Well, it didn't go through." So I gave her my debit card, and it went through, did the visit. The next month, they called me, and they told me that it was the wrong credit card. I said, wait a minute. Let's get this stuff straightened out here.
Well, did you check with your bank to make sure you weren't auto paying all those months?
Oh, yeah, I was paying all of those months.
Well, what I'm saying is, no. What I'm asking, Phil, is were they wrong when they said you weren't paying? Were you actually paying and they didn't know it, or what?
They were wrong. I was paying, and they said that, no, I did not pay. And I showed them my bank
that's
statement.
okay. Well, then, did they take too much from you because you paid them again?
No.
Okay.
Then I told them, I said, don't call me again. I looked for a different vet. They called me, and the woman was really
So wait, so you stopped going to them. You stopped going to them, right?
I stopped going to them. She's missing a couple shots right now, a fireball shot or something else.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a good vet that will
What
take
part of town are you in?
payments.
What part of your town?
I'm in Arvada, Colorado.
Why do you want to do payments? I'm just curious about that.
I don't know. Everything else is on payments, car payments.
No, but
this and
I don't
that.
like the idea of payments because, I mean, you just pay for what you need when you need it. Why would you want, a 5-year-old border collie is not going to be, you're not going to be riddled with a lot of vet bills.
Right.
I mean, so if she needs some shots, even if it costs you, let's say, $150, I mean, why would you want to be on a payment plan where you pay every month no matter?
That's true. That's true. I just like everything going through my bank account,
Well, you can still do that. You can still do that. I just don't get the idea of these payment plans. And I don't know of many vet clinics that do it like that. Because, first of all, it's hazy. How much do you get and when do you have to pay extra and all of that? That's the weird part,
Right.
I don't know what to tell you on that. Now, there are plenty of good vets around. Here's the problem. A lot of private equity are buying up vets and they're making large groups of hospitals, and they're not very value minded. I mean, the days of the good old fashioned neighborhood vet, I don't even know if we have any anymore. But I imagine people will call in after hearing this and then downloading it for sure. We're going to get a lot of recommendations for you.
Well, I hope so. She's a very smart dog. I hate to,
Oh, they're too smart.
And she's spoiled too.
Yeah, she can beat you at checkers, man, for sure. I mean, those dogs are smart. They're the number one dog as far as intelligence scale. Now, does she ever do any herding instinct on anything? Has she ever tried to?
Yes. I got her in Montana.
Is she black and white?
Black and white. She's got brown eyebrows, beautiful teeth, no tartar on her teeth at all.
You have her? Do you take her regularly for teeth cleanings?
Oh, yes. That's what I was doing.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I know where you like that. I don't know of anybody who does these monthly plans. Suze, have you ever even heard of these monthly plans before? I know you always have critters. Have you heard of them? Have you done it, Jackson?
Yes, sir. So
Did you do it with yours?
Well, I had a Great Dane, and for the first 2 years, because of all the problems with Danes and shots and all that stuff, we went to PetSmart, and we also did their training programs. But after the 2 years were up, it didn't make sense anymore because you're right. As soon as you get past all those initial shots, you don't need to go but more than once or twice a year. So you might as well just pay when you use it rather than.
So you don't have to obligate yourself. Is it month to month or is it a yearly thing or what?
You can do either.
Hey, did you ever think, Phil, of giving another PetSmart a chance, maybe another Banfield location, maybe? Or
they turned me into a collection agency. They said I owed them $850, and my contract shows only $425 a year for visits.
I have no idea. So right now they're coming after you, huh?
Well, no, they dig my credit. I got perfect credit. I got A1 credit, but I don't know why they did that.
That stinks, man. I don't know why either.
Yeah. So you know what?
All right, I got to take a break, but hold on a sec. Anybody who knows any good vets out in Arvada area, will you give us a call, please, or write to us, help@troubleshooter.com. Phil, you can call us back. We'll get somebody. I'm sure we'll get recommendations. Oh, so we should keep this here.
We just ran out over time. Yeah. I forgot to replace it. We had Excedrin.
But that has, I just felt like no
Yeah,
caffeine.
right.
I have to go to the gym after. Well, I got a lot of stuff first. How old is he now?
She's
Or
dead
she?
now,
They only live to what, 6?
6 to 8. I got her to 12.
Wow. Joe Lazzara. He's a criminal defense attorney. I always say this when I talk about him. I hope you never need him. See, Joe Lazzara works in a really good way, though. He will do free initial consultations. So if you get a DUI or some other stupid thing, here's the deal, man. He will talk to you and then give you a flat rate price for whatever you need. Now, obviously, we're not encouraging you to get a DUI. You can prevent that more than anything. But there are other times you might need an attorney. Joe Lazzara. Lazzara. And if you do, don't shop under pressure. 303-429-6200. Remember Joe Lazzara. 303-429-6200.
You were asking about size. The top is a 4-inch gutter. The bottom is ours.
Hey, Bo, while I'm thinking of it, I texted you the 4-digit PIN to this.
So yours is only one size, right?
Yes.
Okay, have
So
my
it's
phone
in there.
off.
Yeah, it's
I'm
an
trying to
all-in-one
update
built
it. I
with
forgot.
brackets.
I haven't
so
turned this on
everything's
in
locked
like
together
8
once it's
months
all
because I
put
use
together.
my iPad now, but it's
The
practically
only nice
brand
thing is
new.
we can pop that hood up to
So
put heat
I
cable
didn't,
in later
I'm
if you
doing
need
the
it.
software update.
So that hood pops?
And then it should be.
Is it on a hinge?
The bracket has a little indentation, and the machine makes it into a hinge. So,
I
yeah,
texted
works
you
out
a
pretty nice.
4-digit code. Do you see
Yeah,
that?
it's cool.
I did it a little while ago. Do you see it in text?
That's
Not email?
cool.
Yeah.
All in without the heat table. What does that come to per foot?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Usually you're around 45 a
Yeah.
foot.
What would change it?
Second story, corners,
Give us a few minutes, little brother.
bay windows. Because actually, where's that picture? We did a turret in Boulder.
So
Yeah.
how many feet? I don't even know what linear feet you would have on a house.
Usually it's about 120 to 140.
Yay.
So what does that come out to mathematically with corners and all that?
All that
created
you're
you
probably
a
in for
YouTube
about
channel.
6,000
I
to
hope you don't
7,000.
mind.
That includes
I knew
3x4
what?
downspouts.
I
and
created
everything
you a
else.
That's
YouTube
really
channel.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I hope that's okay.
That's
That's
really
and I named
good.
it
No,
Deputy
it's a
Bo.
good product.
Okay, sounds great.
No, my
a good
Leaf
name.
Guard charges 20-30% more.
And we
than
can
that.
change it if it changes. For now, that
Right.
just seems to be what's stuck so far.
We've had complaints about Leaf Guard.
Well,
Now, is Bob this still there? Do you know the Bob? What the hell is his name?
you're talking about with Leaf Guard? No, because originally Belden owned Leaf Guard here in Colorado. They were a franchise. Then Englert, the one that owns the patent, bought back all the franchises now. So now it's Englert's.
Okay, but there was a local
Have your
franchise
daughters, like,
owner I
mess
used to
around
know.
with
He
it,
was a
and
good
when you're in
guy
the studio,
years
are
ago.
they-
Oh, he's
But, like,
gone. He's long gone.
If I'm here, okay.
Because the
fine.
Beldens had it before
This
Englert
thing
bought it
doesn't
back
work
out.
now, and I'm just
Beldens
so
are out of
pissed. Done all
Texas.
the updates like it should be great. This is like, oh gosh.
Boy, maybe I should talk about getting that in my house, because I pay someone to come at minimum every 2 months to clean out my gutters.
What do they charge?
So here is, where's the internet browser? I'll pull that over for you. So you
One
have
guy
that.
took about $35, $50.
That's not
each
bad.
time. No, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
The guy who does my lawn work and stuff, but,
What is this thing called?
he doesn't
Suzanne?
It's
run
just
the
a
water through
Samsung
the
tablet,
downspout.
Apple home
So,
screen.
you know, he just gets up on the roof and blows.
Yeah. I think we have a
You can
picture of
turn it
that.
either way.
We walked up on a customer, and as we were going to the house, he's on the edge of the roof with a leaf blower.
So you got
We were like,
Gmail,
"Why are you
got
doing
Chrome
that?"
for browsing
He's like
the
70
internet.
years old.
As long as you're on Wi-Fi.
That's how he's cleaning out his gutters.
Yeah, that's what this guy does.
Okay,
No,
so
oh
you
yeah,
got all
no,
that.
it's
But they don't.
So those you never have to
And
clean,
for the
right?
YouTube,
never. Yeah,
Just
that's
always hit
the.
the home
they
button
keep
if you want to
needles
get back to this
off.
screen,
What?
okay?
Needles,
Then YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's where these
It
things
should
shine.
pop up for you.
Pine needles.
the needles.
But it's
Yeah.
the Tom
Terrible.
Martino
Yeah.
Troubleshooter
Yeah.
show. Now this I got.
Because the biggest problem you get is you get these filters, and the filter guys will tell you that we
Oh, they-
guarantee
no, they suck.
we guarantee that your gutter will never get clogged. I agree with you.
And I
Because the filter gets clogged, and then the water runs over the top of
But
it.
you never want volume in here.
Because the problem with pine, especially
But yeah,
pine
mess
trees,
around with it.
it's
Let me
not
give
the
you-
needles,
you should never
it's
have
the
to turn it
pine
off.
sap,
How do you-
the
charge?
tr-
Here's
the
the charge.
pollen.
How do you
That's
like
what clogs
the
it.
gutter helmet?
Gutter helmet's fine. Anything with a reverse curve, but they charge $48 a foot just for the
Well,
helmet.
it's just to put it to sleep.
And then the bigger
you don't,
problem.
you don't want to turn it off. Just here, this is volume,
But
but here.
here's the bigger
you just
problem.
hit it,
They
it
go into
goes
the roof.
Black. And then if you want it back
'Cause
on,
the
you
way
do
that
this.
you adhere
But
that
here's
to-
where it's gonna go. Look,
We took this off of their website.
swipe,
That's
and
how
then
they
it'll
install
last.
it.
That's the
So they
code.
pick up the shingles,
Okay.
and then they put a
Yeah.
layer
And
of
then you got
butyl, and then they try to
YouTube
seal
and
that back
Chrome
down.
Fiduciary Advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hey, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, denverregen.com. Don't forget, weight loss starting at $250 for semaglutide compounded. That's denverregen.com. Okay, so we are talking to Cassie now. She needs help collecting a judgment. Wow, today's business day or the other side day. What's going on, Cassie?
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good. What's happening?
Okay, so I have a judgment against a bar, an old bar called Rogan's Pub.
What
the
happened?
Owner, so she didn't pay me minimum wage for over 2.5 years.
And
then
how?
she-
But you must have known something was wrong with that during that time. No.
No. So when she had fired me, basically abruptly, illegally for some stupid things, I had told her I wanted my money.
No, wait a minute.
and-
So hold on. You said you wanted your money. This is what I don't understand. Then you knew you were owed money. You were working there for how much an hour? Let's start there.
$7.50 an hour is what I was working at.
Now, what I want to know is, were you considered a server?
I was a bartender.
Okay. I don't know much about this kind of work, but isn't the minimum wage for servers and bartenders lower than it is for other workers because the state figures you're going to get tips?
Okay, so for tipped employees at that time, it was $8 an hour.
Okay. So you were still being underpaid.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
sir. So
and how long did you work there? How many years?
2.5 years.
So for the whole 2.5 years, did you put a pencil to it and figure out what you were underpaid?
So when so what exactly, like the whole thing, how it brought up, because she owes me $9,000. The state of Colorado awarded me is because she paid me not only below minimum wage for 2.5 years, but we also worked through COVID. We weren't supposed to be open through COVID. And so she owed me a paycheck through COVID, and she didn't want to pay because she said she had to report it to the unemployment. Mind you, the unemployment.
But you were awarded already, right? So you already won this. So
yes,
was this in
$9,000.
small claims court or was this a hearing?
They said to go through they said like the only way I'd be able to collect it is if she didn't pay is through small claims court. I've already tried everything up.
No, here's what I'm
Money
asking.
from her.
The actual, you said, finding from the Division of Employment. What was that? Did you have a hearing?
$9,000.
Yeah, but
for
did you?
wage theft.
Was it a hearing or was it just an opinion?
No hearing. I didn't go to court.
Not
It was
court.
through the
Not
labor
court. Listen, the division. They investigated. What is the $9,000? It's not a judgment.
That's what they called it for. It was for a judgment. That's what.
Well, then
said
they
it was.
did go to court.
Yeah, for her, but no, I didn't.
Oh, they took her to court directly.
Yes.
Okay, are you sure? So you actually have right now in your name a $9,000 judgment.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay.
She is on the state of Colorado wage theft.
I get it. Yeah. No, I know about that site, as a matter of fact. What is that site again? I love that site.
It's like the Colorado wage theft thing for bars and
Yeah.
restaurants.
There's a lot of
She's on
people. There are a lot of people. It's like the sleaze brigade for employers.
Yes.
Here's okay. She worked as you worked at a bar 2.5 years and was paid less than minimum wage and got a judgment, okay, well, that's good. Then, but what I don't understand is they told you you'd have to go to court again to collect that judgment?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
And
I wouldn't do that. I would go to a collection attorney.
Okay. I had went to a collection attorney. They told me that if she files bankruptcy, then I'm basically another creditor.
Not
So I
for,
won't get my money.
no, I don't think so. I don't think for employees you are. I don't know, but first of all, do you think she's going to go bankrupt?
Well, the business was sold underneath her. It wasn't her business to own, but
Wait a minute.
I mean, she might have.
So wait, she doesn't, hold on. So she's not even there anymore.
No, she's not. It is a bar that is no longer there.
Oh, so is the judgment against her personally or the entity?
Yes, against her and her business personally.
But it is against her personally.
Yes.
All right. What about if you go to small claims court, you can get at least 7,500 of it.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. Does she own a home?
As far as I know, I don't know too much about this.
You see,
woman.
you need a collection attorney. I'll tell you why, just to explore it. Because you need to bankruptcy, they're right. She could go bankrupt. But if you have a judgment already, you can go put a lien on her house.
I tried. I actually do have. I have put a lien on her business at the time before she sold it. Before the landlord sold it, I had put a lien on it. So there is a lien on the state of Colorado for her.
A lien on what? There is no business.
About her old business.
Well, there's no
'cause
business.
couldn't
I mean,
get her.
what I'm saying is, if she is personally on the hook for a $9,000 judgment, then she is personally going to be responsible, meaning anything she owns. So, or any bank accounts. I mean, anything. So, but you don't know how to do this. That's why I'm telling you how to do it.
Yeah.
You get a collection attorney because you don't know how to do it. But if you did know how to do it, you would do a writ of a garnishment. First of all, you do interrogatories, and you'd ask where her bank accounts are, accounts receivable, any money, any house, any equity, whatever.
Okay.
Then if she doesn't answer the interrogatories, she actually can get a warrant for her arrest for contempt of court. And then what you do is you go about, it's just a long process. You have to enforce it. So really, you need to get someone who knows what they're doing. Did you actually talk to a collection attorney?
Yes, and they told me that.
Who's they? You talked to one attorney?
To an attorney, and they said that basically if I went after her, it's going to cost me more to go after her. So basically the whole $9,000.
Well, that tells me they're morons.
Okay.
Those attorneys, put them down, put a check near their name, they're morons. If they're collection attorneys, they know that they can add collection costs to the judgment. They also know that there's statutory interest. They also know that some do it for a contingency fee. So whoever you talk to, they're not collection attorneys. Did you know? How did you find these attorneys?
I looked it up online.
And did they say they were collection attorneys?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you didn't find.
If I had my paperwork on me, I would be able to tell you the name of the attorney, but I don't have my paperwork on me right now.
Okay. You need to find truly a collection attorney. And we can tell you where to start. But I don't know if he'll take it. I mean, he might. But, you know, it depends. If they don't think she has anything, you need to do some research. You need to do some research first to see if she has anything. That's probably why they don't want to take it.
Okay.
Because if she has a home with equity, you're going to get it. You're going to win.
Okay.
Find that out first. You can get her address. Once you get her address, you can run an O&E on the property. You can find out what it's worth and what is owed on it.
Okay.
Okay, why don't you just do that? And then call us back. I'll mark this as pending, and then you can call us back. Oh my goodness. But, geez, how do you put those together without it looking terrible?
His name is Francisco, and he's been doing it 22 years.
Does that metal get bent together?
No.
Is it?
It's cut.
And then caulking?
Yeah, well, you layer it down.
One,
yeah.
Do you put one inside another? Or?
That was like 322 pieces to go around that entire turret. It's in Boulder. It's one of my favorite projects because it's right on.
We have Deputy Doc.
I think it's
Deputy
18th
Dollar.
Street.
So
It's a couple
Doc
streets
is
off
a
the mall.
retired gynecologist.
But
He's
whenever
like
I go up
80
that way, I always go by it because I love looking at it.
He's a great guy.
$1.
And
If
then
gutters can be
Dollars, that's Scott. He's really cool. You like Scott and Hubbo.
But it's
Scott's
pretty
great.
work.
Does it look smooth from the outside? From look.
Laid back, likes to explain things. I like hanging
He's in on Tuesdays.
Like
he was my mentor.
Oh, you got spots?
Hold on.
Hang on.
You know, One Clear Choice Garage Doors is such a great company. They'll come to your house immediately. If you have a problem getting your door open or closed, they will do it, and it will be, I'm telling you, professional and value. All of their prices on their website, oneclearchoicedoors.com, oneclearchoicedoors.com. Any service you need, this is the one I use at my home, whether it's a new door, new opener, or just service, oneclearchoicedoors.com. Hey, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com is here for you. Whether you're buying real estate, selling real estate, he does such an extraordinary job. And he also gives an analysis of your home as to what it will sell for and what you'll clear and what you can buy if you want. And it's all complimentary, no obligation ever to list. That's 303-920-1622, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Hey, people love new window coverings because they make or break a house, in my opinion. Floor coverings and window coverings. And with Made in the Shade, they'll come and measure everything so you get the precise measurement free of charge. You also get a designer to make suggestions on what you need and where you need it. Then they'll order it for you and install it, all one-stop shop. Whether you want high-tech, low-tech, in-between tech, solar tech, stuff that works on solar, stuff that works with the cell phone. Whatever you want, they have. Made in the Shade, that's denvershades.co. denvershades.co. So I want
Jeannie, we have Deputy Chopper. Have you met Chopper?
Oh, the cop?
Yeah, was he an ex-cop?
Yeah, I knew
He's
him
good.
40
He's really
years
good.
ago when he was
See your main
sergeant on the
installer?
police department.
Oh, really?
No, actually. So my main
He's in
installer
Costa
is
Rica
Mauricio.
for a few weeks.
he's
so.
Mauricio was born and raised here. He's 25. He's my employee. Whenever I run into something weird, that's
Yeah,
when I give
he's
it to
fun.
Francisco.
Everybody has their
He's a
personality.
1099.
Yeah, he's a good.
But he's certified in
Doc
K-Guard.
usually comes in on Fridays.
He's a
and
specialist, but he
sometimes during the
charges
week.
through the nose.
Plays video
So
poker.
I don't use him on normal jobs.
Big gambler.
What's that?
He's a big gambler. He's always
Well,
Oh, Doc?
Francisco was born
Yeah,
in
he
San
likes to go
Francisco.
up
He's English.
to Central City
and then
and play. He
Mauricio
plays
was
a lot
born
of
here.
poker
He
and a
barely
lot of golf,
speaks
but it's
Spanish.
nice out.
No habla español?
But yeah, he's been with us probably
Un
the
poquito
longest. There's Smarty
aprendiendo?
Marty is really
So,
a great asset to the show.
well,
but
I'm
sort of
working on
break.
it.
Smarty Marty, I don't think
Is he
he'll-
coming back?
Ah.
We don't know.
He got ill, didn't he?
6 months. I'm barely like.
good?
¿Qué quieres de comida?
I never met
At Asa?
I'm going to get one.
What are you eating for lunch?
So yeah, a couple of different.
Now, does it work conversationally? Is it?
Oh yeah, yeah. So like,
I told my...
it's got a
Some days we're
review,
overloaded
but
with
it goes
cases,
through
and then other
sentences.
days it's a little quiet.
Yeah.
I told my wife.
$80 for a year.
Just depends.
$80
after
for a
getting to
year.
know you a little
I
bit.
told my wife,
Throw you
I
an easy
want
one or
to,
two the first,
make it
kind of
a point
no-brainer
for
stuff at
Spanish.
first.
Yeah.
And then
For-
it's for just
With
so
my
you get the
accounting
feel.
background, I think it
When,
might be not
if
as
you're
hard,
gonna
but it'll
start
still
making
be fun.
calls and stuff,
But
I'll
I'm
sort of go over with
doing
you how to
a
present
security
yourself
license
and
now.
what
Then
you want to
I'm
be
going
sure
to
to
do
say and
I wanted
you know
to,
what kind of follow-ups to expect. And then once if
I
there's an
wanted to-
update,
I
like
wanted to
Bo
learn
has an
that for
update, he
sure.
comes in, we'll
Because we
call him on
help
the
so many
phone, we'll get you in
families, and I
queue and
don't
get your
talk to
caller in
them. I talk
queue
to
to
them
talk
about
about the case and the
interpretation.
update. So, but we kind of like to
It
observe
works,
for a few
but
times and just
there's a
sort of get
different level when
feel
you can speak to them,
how
and
things
especially
work.
It's
like
not so much even the words as it is the phraseology. they have such weird ways of expressing things.
You also have like showing of respect, like tú eres el señor versus yo estoy I'm saying the same thing, like what's your name? But one way is I'm treating you with a very high-end respect versus I'm treating you like a friend, casual speaking. So they have hierarchy based on who you're talking to. It's, if you learn that.
Well, we do in America too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello, sir. May I ask your name? I mean, you can say that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yo, man, what's your name? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's like.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's where learning it and it's kind of fun. But no, and then my son, the school he's in, they teach Spanish, so he and I start to speak. It's good. It's fun. But Babel, you can also do Italian. I don't know if you're...
No, I know enough of that to get by. I want to get Spanish because Spanish is the most next to English, the one. Probably Chinese, but I'm not going to ever learn that. But I want to do Spanish.
Spanish, you'll find it's not as difficult as you think. I prefer that over German. So.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Nothing.
No, edition, Schweinefleschen?
But I will say, your cases generally never get solved the same day. You know what I mean?
I was there for 9 months, so you learned enough to.
Did you learn? Did you go to school there?
No.
Stephanie was there for about. She went to school there for a
Yeah,
semester
sometimes it
abroad.
takes forever. And then if you got
I was
enough
based out of
cases that you
Stuttgart
need,
for
they'll
9
tell
months,
us, hey,
so
don't give me
you
any
learned
until I
enough
got
to order off a menu.
April 27th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Dan McKenzie can do wills, trusts, probate, keep you out of probate. If somebody just died, you need help. McKenzie Law, by the way, we like Dan. He's a great expert, and he can even help you devise a plan that controls your heirs, actually, if you don't trust him completely with your stuff. I mean, you can, or you can make it simple. 833-CO-PLANS, 833-CO-PLANS. So, Greg's got a question on capital gains. Greg, what's going on?
Hi. My sister, her husband recently died, my brother-in-law. She lives in Ohio. They bought a house almost 9 years ago for $175,000, and we're trying to figure out if she will owe capital gains if she's able to sell the home for about $200,000.
I assume they had joint tenancy as a husband and wife.
That is correct.
So what's going to happen is they own it together. His half will go to her, but on a stepped-up basis. So she's going to have a weird basis. For example, what did they buy it for?
$175,000.
Okay, so what's it worth now?
It's worth $275,000, but they made.
That's all in all this time, huh? Just one. It's only worth $100,000 more.
It's only worth $100,000 more, but this is rural Ohio.
Okay, so it's worth $275,000 now. So if it's worth $275,000 at the time of death, right? You divide that by 2, and she gets half of that stepped-up basis. So her basis is going to be, let's round it off to like $140,000 for his half, and then her half is going to be, I forget what you said, but it's going to be whatever her half was originally plus the $140,000 will be her new basis, plus whatever improvements, permanent improvements they put into the home. So you said they paid $175,000 originally, right? So okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. So you're going to have about 90 and 140. 90 plus 140. It will be her new basis of 230. So you say it's going to sell for less than that, right? Or no, 275. She's going to have a little bit of gain. That's it. So she'll have, let's say, it sells for $280. I'm trying to keep it simple. So then she has $50,000 in gain, right? So if she has 50,
and they put
go ahead.
They put improvements in. They did fence, a generator, and a two-car detached garage.
Okay, well,
So they
hell,
probably
she
put-
might be able to absorb that extra 50. Do you think they put more than 50 into it?
Yes.
Well, then she has nothing. Her basis will be that 230 plus permanent improvements.
Excellent.
So, but tell her she doesn't get to step up the basis on the whole house. She only gets to step it up on his half.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. And I'm sorry to hear that her husband died. I hope she's doing well. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, I took the 45. I'm all caught up, right or not? I'm not? I don't like you, Dragon. You're a pain in the ass. He says I have to take another break. By the way, Grossman Wellness is a concierge doc. I love it. See, I'm a member there. So much a month, a few $100 a month. It includes all blood work every 3 months, supplements, even prescriptions. Seriously. And it's like, in my opinion, better than health insurance. But I also have health insurance. I don't want to mislead you. GrossmanWellness.com. GrossmanWellness.com. For $250, you can find out exactly where you stand with blood work and an exam. And if you want to continue, fine. If not, no problem. GrossmanWellness.com. God. And now with this security shit, I am going, see, you know what? I've learned this by cataloging it, right? You catalog it. It's not that I'm smart. It's that I catalog stuff that I learned over the years. So it goes into a compartment that I literally learn, right? It becomes part of me. So when I'm learning this new security stuff, because I'm taking the securities law, and I'm going to get this license, and so I noticed I wasn't learning as quickly. I said, Steph, I learned shit fast. I don't know why I'm having a problem digesting and learning it. I don't want to memorize just to pass the test. I want to learn it. And I realized why. I wasn't learning it because it wasn't cataloged by me. It was cataloged by Kaplan, or this service, this, and they did a shit job of organizing and cataloging. Like, they'll talk about certain securities and then derivatives and go back to derivatives, and they ZeroResDenver.com. That's the carpeting place I have at my home, the only one. Why? Because they don't use anything except purified, extra soft, alkaline-based, maybe a little electrically charged water. Here's what I mean. Imagine a lightning storm on a mountain stream with soft water and how it can eat away at rocks. Well, let me just tell you something. It's the best cleaning agent in all of nature. And your carpets become so clean with no soaps or emulsifiers, safe for kids, safe for pets, safe for you. And here's the greatest part. No residue. Your carpets actually feel better, and they have to use way less water, so they dry faster, stay clean longer. ZeroResDenver.com. It is the best. They also do upholstery, and they do all kinds of other cleaning, like upholstery and tile and grout, mattresses. 303-471-5150. They start at like $33 a room. It's affordable. 303-471-5150. Speaking of affordability, Europlumbing says they're the cheapest when it comes to water heaters. And I'm talking about Rheem and A.O. Smith 6-year warranty, so it's not cheap stuff, but a great service. You know, you can get a water heater at $14.99 for a 50-gallon, $13.99 for a 40-gallon. That's taking out the old one, hauling it away. Even if you want a bigger one, they say they have the best price. Put them to the test. EuroplumbingColorado.net. Yes, I know Dimitar, and he wants you to call him because he says he's going to save you money on anything plumbing. 303-668-6844. 668-6844. And speaking of saving money, again, my Buddy, Buddy and Karen Mitchell. And Buddy is my buddy. And he has Simply Floors Inc. started with one philosophy. Great value, great experience. Not just the value, but the experience. With the best installers in the business and the carpet consultants that will come to your home, or any floor consultant. You can have luxury vinyl planking as well. You can have hardwoods, laminates, veneers. So what you do is go online, make an appointment. Simply Floors Inc. INC. SimplyFloorsInc.com. So man, that's a lot of commercials, right?
Are you getting a series 1 or a series 7?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm getting both. Well, actually, I'll eventually be a charter financial analyst.
Okay, because another lifetime ago, I got a series 7 with New York Life.
7, I'm getting a little heavier than that, but that 7's good.
7.3 then, or are you getting a 65?
I'm getting a 65.
Okay.
But I'm getting. Do you know what a CFA is?
I do.
Okay. So it's kind of incorporating all of those.
Certified financial advisor.
No.
CFAs?
It's a chartered financial analyst. It's way heavier.
What is that? I'm not
There's no
familiar.
such thing as a financial advisor. There's a financial
Planner. Sorry, CFP.
Yeah. And all that is, and I don't mean all that is, I don't mean to put any of them down. They're all working hard. That's more or less, that's not specific.
Well, it goes to the company you're working with. You typically sell their mutual funds.
Yeah, or annuities.
Right.
But I'm doing this whole, and the only reason I'm doing it is because I own a securities company now.
Okay.
By some magic, I just did it for myself.
Right.
And then people started joining because they liked what I was doing.
Right.
And it was a private fund, but in order to go public, I have to do certain things. And I don't really technically need it.
Right.
Because my other people have it.
Right.
But I'm doing it for the credibility. I'm never going to touch anyone's. I'll never invest anyone's money.
Right.
But the model's proven through other people.
Not only that, but at least you know what you're talking about, because you have guys.
What I told you last year at 750, I just got my 250 on 750.
Really?
No, I'm not bullshit. That's what I did. On mine, just one. What's one look? That's just one of the many things that I have. But what I did was I've been doing this for 5 years, and over the 5 years, and it's kind of, because it was private, we kind of got away with it. People mimicked what I did, but then I made it official. I had to, because too many people were doing it. Because it's just working.
Right.
But it happened for a kid from church here. He went away, did missionary work. She knew him. And so this kid comes back and says, Tom, I had this paper money account with Ameritrade. This was years ago.
Right.
And he was making a shitload of money on paper. I said, that's because there's no risk.
It's Ryan Schuling.
Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams joins me to discuss Democrat Representative Leslie Harrod's egregious anti-cop bill presented to the Colorado House on Wednesday. It all starts at 2 here on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Hey, we have run out of time. So we also have Deputy Bo in the house that we're working on stuff. We had, I'm not going to mention anybody else, but there's someone else looking at being a deputy, and I'm not going to put pressure on her, so I'm not mentioning her name, and I'm not mentioning anything because she may not want to do it, but I will tell you this. It would be the first female deputy we ever had. Ever. I don't know why. I didn't design it that way. I never said I don't want a female deputy. Suze, shame on you. Why don't we have a female deputy?
No, this is going to be great
If
she decides.
Why is that,
to
huh?
work.
So anyway, Jackson, I appreciate you being here, man. Now, Jackson, I'm going to give you a business quiz. What business are you in?
The service business. I service customers.
That's right. And the lead acquisition business, right? You want to get customers to service, right? But if you said I'm in the gutter business, I said, no, you're not. Your employees are. Although you probably know the business now, don't you? Could you install it?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you could.
Yeah.
So you're one of these guys that do it all.
I started, so when I was 16, 17, I started doing home improvements as far as actual installation.
Yeah, but you were
college.
working for national corporations doing that, right?
But you learn how.
Right.
And then
you became your own man?
Well, actually, I grew up through Sears Home Improvements, and I learned how things are put together and how to sell them, and I grew up...
Were you a Tin Man?
No.
Remember those days?
Yeah,
okay.
I've seen the movie.
You're too young for that.
Old.
You're too
that
young.
old.
No, you're way too young. So how long you been doing your K-Guard?
K-Guard, I've owned this for 7 years now.
And before that, you were doing home improvements?
I've been in the home improvement game off and on for about 20
And part of it was finance?
So, yes, I learned how to install it, sell it, run it, finance it, and then open my own.
So are you doing financing with K-Guard if people need to finance it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. So you have in-house, or what do I call in-house, but you arrange it?
Yeah. So the company we use is Interbank. They're based out of California.
Is it anything like same as cash?
We have that option, 12 months, same as cash. So what's nice about Interbank is there's no lien on the property. There's no attachment. It's a signature loan.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so do you find a great percentage of people need that, or do most people pay?
No, most people that are in the business for a specialty item like ours, they come check or credit card.
On track homes, what is the normal cycle for putting new stuff on?
So usually your gutters are going to last about 20, 25 years.
But not on a track home.
Well,
maybe
it comes down to the support from the fascia board. So if the fascia board is really nailed into the rafter tails, sure. But
so anyway, you give them a call, 303-476-4323, 476-4323. Pleasure having you, K-Guard, RockyMountains.com. Okay, folks, don't forget 303-MARTINO. Call 24/7 for help, information, referrals, and save all your problems for me.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino and stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW, KHOW.com, and on the iHeartRadio app. This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Have you heard? The future of banking and mortgage is here, and it's called the Life Changer Loan. The loan where you do your banking inside of your mortgage, where all of your deposits go 100% to principal balance without fear because you have access to all the money to pay your bills, and where the average client pays off their home in just 5 years without changing a dime of spending habit. It's not magic. It's just math. So check us out at lifechangerloan.com. That's lifechangerloan.com.
Life Changer Loan Corp is a licensed Colorado mortgage company. NMLS 1863775. Life Changer Loan Corp is an equal housing lender.
You've probably heard the powerful once-a-week weight loss drug that's all the rage. It really works. You've also heard it costs $1,200 a month, and there's shortages. There's good news. DenverRegen.com can supply you now. Just $250 a month. You heard me. $250 a month. Genuine semaglutide compounded in a U.S. pharmacy. Doctor consultation included. DenverRegen.com. In-person visits or by phone. DenverRegen.com.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeartRadio station. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free. Never sounded so good.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. 4 bills broken up from the stalled Senate-passed foreign aid package could go up for a vote in the House starting today. It includes critical aid for Israel and Ukraine facing fresh attacks. Here's ABC's Perry Russum.
Yesterday in northern Ukraine, at least 17 people were killed in an airstrike. An attack officials say could have been stopped if Ukraine had adequate air defenses. And in the Middle East, as the war in Gaza continues, ABC News has learned that Israel, on 2 nights this week, prepared attacks against Iran but canceled those plans. Sources now say an Israeli strike on Iran is unlikely until after the Passover holiday at the end of the month.
In Pennsylvania, President Biden picking up a key endorsement today. Members of the Kennedy family backing Biden instead of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Jury selection continues in the hush money criminal trial for Donald Trump. 2 of 7 jurors already seated were dismissed today. 12 in all, plus 6 alternates are needed. This is ABC News. Historic rainfall in Dubai continuing to impact life and operations at the world's second busiest airport.
Chaos in Dubai after record rainfall. About a year and a half's worth of rain pouring down in just a few hours. The heaviest rain since the United Arab Emirates began keeping records 75 years ago, flooding roads, homes, and forcing the international airport, a major hub, to close. Videos circulating on social media showed malls overrun with water pouring from the ceiling, people using kayaks to get around. Nearby Oman also experienced heavy rains, with local officials reporting at least 19 deaths there. Inez de la Gutierrez, ABC News, at the foreign desk.
Prom season nearly here, and hundreds of teens are getting the dresses of their dreams for free. Project Prom is an annual event in New York offering low-income students a boutique shopping experience. They get to choose from racks of dresses and accessories, the gowns donated by vendors. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
The Colorado House has passed a bill that would regulate funeral homes and crematoriums throughout the state. The measure would require regular state-operated inspections and allow for inspections to take place outside of business hours. It would also allow for suspension of registration for anyone who doesn't comply with orders after a complaint or investigation. Another bill moving through the legislature would require a license to work as a funeral director, mortuary science practitioner, embalmer, cremationist, or natural reductionist. The Nuggets are embarking on their quest for back-to-back championships. They host the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs. It's a rematch of last year's conference finals series. Coach Michael Malone knows it will be a tough series.
We understand what we have in front of us. I think the biggest challenge is everyone keeps talking about how we've beaten them 8 games in a row, and as I told our players today, that doesn't mean anything.
Game 1 of the best-of-7 series is Saturday nights at Ball Arena. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now,